coming up, and Yankees and the Orioles, man, you want to talk about prospects, they have them. There's no doubt about it. They battle in the same division, and they have the talent. I'm going to point out a couple of things to you here. Guys, I want you to look out for it, because you look at this and you go, wait, who's that? All right, leading off, George Lombard Jr. Dad played in the majors, a short career. He's only 19 years old, and he's a first-round pick out of high school in Florida. So watch for him. And Spencer Jones as well. Spencer Jones is 6'6", first-round pick out of Vandy. Man, Vanderbilt just keeps churning him out. Compared to a lefty Aaron Judge, I think at that point I'm going to be quiet, because what could I possibly add to that? On the Baltimore side, so 8 of the 9 guys in this lineup are in the team's top 30. The team's top 30. And we already know that they have great young players that are either in the majors or about to enjoy and join the major league team. Enrique Bradfield Jr., Baltimore's number 3 prospect. You see him there. He is leading off, and he was a first-round pick in 2023 out of Vanderbilt as well. Gosh, man, he has 80 grade speed. That is the highest you can be. It goes 20 to 80. And he's 80. Look at that shot. How beautiful is that? Spring Breakout Series. That's Ed Smith Stadium in Sarasota, Florida. And that game is coming up here on MLB Network. Don't go away. We're going to have it for you. We have baseball all night long.
Introducing new Oroxon Gel, the first FDA-cleared ED treatment available without a prescription. Oroxon Gel is clinically proven to work within 10 minutes, so you and your partner can experience the heights of intimacy. New Oroxon ED Treatment Gel.
Selling your home? Compare agents on Realtor.com. In a tap, get free proposals from local agents who truly know your area. Choose the one that's right for you and gets you the best value. Try it now, only at Realtor.com, the #1 site real estate professionals trust.
It all starts here. A new beginning for a game that just created a masterpiece, where Dodger Blue rewrote the history books. A golden arm tossed rookie records aside. And a red flash stole his way into stardom. Now, the canvas calls for fresh strokes of greatness, where big names step back between the lines. Bigger expectations come back to the Bronx. And the biggest offseason prize now wears a different shade of blue. Everyone's ready for the show.
Henderson, Bobby Witt Jr., Bryce Harper. This is what you've been waiting for.
It's time to unleash the colors of the 2025 season as baseball's next masterpiece comes to life.
Before we get you out to the game, take a look at the pitching matchup. Carlos LaGrange for the Yankees, 6'7". They love his stuff. They're talking about command being a little bit of a thing, but gosh, he's only 21 years old. And how about Keeler Morphe? Morphe is 18 years old. So he was actually born after Justin Verlander debuted in Major League Baseball. You see the Yankee lineup. We'll get you out to the game right now. Spring Breakout Baseball here on MLB Network.
Lineups are presented by T-Mobile. Taking a quick look here what the Yankees have put together for their spring breakout starting lineup, managed by Mario Garza, their director of baseball development. George Lombard Jr. leads things off, the power-hitting shortstop, and he is followed by the towering Spencer Jones out in center field. Batting fifth is Roderick Arias at second base, the switch hitter. TJ Rumfield is batting sixth. Brando Maea, the left fielder, bats eighth. And the designated hitter is Engelth Urena, and he rounds things out batting ninth. So again, we will take all the time to dig into this Yankees lineup as we are getting underway here. The first inning of spring breakout between the Orioles and Yankees. And for these young Yankees, let's go ahead and take a look at the righty that they will be facing for the Orioles in Keeler Morphe.
Yeah, Keeler Morphe is super interesting. One of the weaknesses the Orioles had until recent years was getting prospects on their national market. And they've made a renewed emphasis since Mike Elias has come in to do that. Morphe was not a big ticket signing. He signed for a little over $200,000 out of Venezuela. And while he's not a huge physical specimen on the mound, he throws very hard. His first pitch was 98. That's not uncommon. He has a very quick arm, hypermobile on the mound, gets down the mound really well. We're going to see upper 90s. We might see triple digits, mid-80s slider, low 90s changeup. I mean, he's a power pitcher pitching to power hitters here for the Yankees.
So everything just a little high right now for George Lombard Jr. And I love this because you and I got to talk very briefly earlier to Matt Blood, who has had his hands in rebuilding this farm system from the ground up for Baltimore. And I said, it's amazing because he throws really hard, but he's smaller. And I just love the belief because he goes, no, he's not. He's fine.
He was defending his guy. He was saying,
absolutely.
He took exception to the word small. He might be short, but he's strong. Like we can't show you. Matt flexed for us to demonstrate what strong was. But yeah, I mean, he's not the tallest pitcher in the world, but we've already seen 99 out of him.
On the edge there for Lombard. He's going to force a full count here after falling behind. So hearing that he was in pursuit of a cutter this offseason, trying to make things look a little different for him, that could help him move up. Payoff. And foul back.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen, 5 fastballs now, and we've seen 3 at 99 and 2 at 98. And we're going to see the same thing when Carlos LaGrange comes out for the Yankees in the bottom of this inning. He has similar heat. Yeah, the interesting thing with Morphe, Melanie, is he just hasn't played that much. He's barely, I think 4 starts at Delmarva, 99 for the strikeout right there.
Power just blowing away. George Lombard Jr. shaking his head as he talks to Rafael Flores, who's now on deck.
Yeah, just threw it right by him. And it's cool because what I was starting to say before he struck out Lombard is he's only pitched 58 innings in pro ball. He's only 18 years old. He won't be 19 until June, which is crazy. But kudos to the Orioles. I mean, this is the spirit of the game. He's their best pitching prospect who's on this roster. And instead of, looking at it like, oh, geez, he's young. He hasn't pitched a whole lot. He's only pitched a couple games, even at the full season level. They're throwing Keeler Morphe out here against the Yankees' best hitting prospects.
Let him cut his teeth a little bit. 1-0 to Spencer Jones. Up and inside, 4-2. What I love about this is you also mentioned that the Yankees have some guys that throw heat. It almost starts to look like this younger class after the four-seam fastball very much trended away. It's a specialty for a lot of these guys, and that's going to be felt. 99. Spencer Jones. It looked like it hit the guard on the arm.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's in too much pain, which is nice because it cannot be fun getting hit with 99.
You could put me in a Michelin Man suit. I don't want to take that pitch. So he'll take his base, hit by a pitch from Morphe here, and Spencer Jones is aboard.
I feel like that's about as casual as you could take a 99-mile-an-hour fastball off your arm.
The almost Judgian-sized base runner now over at first, and Morphe will turn to Flores. He straightens things out to the backstop.
Flores is interesting. He had kind of a modest beginning to his pro career. He played at a couple junior colleges and then didn't go get drafted in 2022. Went to go play in Alaska college summer ball and got drafted signed as a non-drafted free agent for $75,000 and became one of the Yankees' best hitting prospects. 21 homers last year between high A and double A. A lot of their catching prospects tend to be very offensive-minded. So he might be more of a first baseman than a catcher, kind of like Ben Rice is at the big league level. But really interesting power bat for the Yankees.
1-1, and that's smacked out to the left side over the glove of O'Farrell into left. A base hit, the first for the Yankees, and it belongs to Rafael Flores. So you mentioned the bat, and he's gone ahead and delivered here. That offensive mindset just really squared up this offering.
Yeah, I mean, it was 97 miles an hour. It caught too much of the plate, but he was right on it. Got the bat head on it, hit it pretty hard. We don't have exit velocities, but based on the sound, that was triple digits. That was somewhere in the triple digits. That was hit pretty hard.
And I have to wonder, Lombard said something to him as he walked in the dugout, so maybe he gets the credit for whatever scouting report that was, as this one comes in high to Jesus Rodriguez. Playing at third base for the Yankees spring breakout tonight. See there, his high A and double A, 79 games.
Other guys put up really good offensive numbers. That's going to get through.
ball with eyes straight back up the middle. The wave around for Spencer Jones as he comes in, and the Yankees' first run, an RBI single for Rodriguez. 1-0 New York. It's a little line drive for Flores, and now a roller for Rodriguez. They're starting to figure it out.
Spencer Jones scoring that run, and you look at Spencer Jones, and he's big, so the first thing you think of power, but he's so athletic for his size too, and he made that look like he scored pretty easily on that play. That wasn't really much of a challenge. Very good all-around athlete.
So a word here, Samuel Basayo comes out to talk to his battery mate. It does tend to surprise you. It almost seems like it is an extra step for guys who are that much bigger to be aware of their body, to be that good of a mover as Spencer Jones is. And he's talked with a lot of media. He's worked on so much stuff this offseason to come in as a better athlete this year. And time will tell. We're on the brink of opening day. So still 2 aboard here. Traffic with 1 out for Keeler Morphy. Roderick Arias, this one over the glove of Basayo. Runners are going to advance.
And just so fans are watching this, if they're wondering, this is treated like a spring training game. So if Morphe hits whatever they want his pitch limit to be this inning, they can take him out and then put him back in the second inning. I've seen that a couple times in the first 2 spring breakout games I've been to. They won't necessarily leave him in here to throw 40 pitches, but like they could pull him and then put him back in.
Have you seen that so far? A little bewildering for these younger guys. I think you get the older ones, and they've been
to big league camp, but yeah, it's a little. It was interesting because I did the Red Sox Rays game on MLB Network on Thursday, and the Red Sox have a guy that just got a last year's draft lefty named Brandon Clark, and he could not throw strikes his first inning. He came in, he was throwing hard, but he couldn't throw strikes. They took him out, and they came in the next inning, and it was bam, 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 and he kind of found himself. So
you need a mental pause.
Yeah.
And Basayo tried to create that initially. Another mound visit for them here. A very young battery between these two as Arias back in again from the left side. They'll draw the infield in for the O's.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Morphe's probably never pitched on national TV before.
I
wonder if he's ever pitched in a televised game of any sort, even local broadcast.
High for a ball, too. I would think that's a safe bet.
I mean, maybe I don't know if Delmarva's games are televised on MILB TV, so maybe. But yes, I mean, this is probably literally the biggest game he's ever pitched in his life. And
not,
again,
not
he's only 18
that we're putting
years old.
any pressure on him. He pushed back up to 98 there against the Yankees' number 7 prospect, Arias. And gets the chase again. Nice count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's interesting because he's obviously struggling with his command and control right now, and the fastball's his best pitch. So if the Yankees, I'm sure, are sitting fastball, but it's 98-99, so it's a little easier said than done. That I'm just going to look for the fastball and hit it.
Outside will force a full count. And this is an interesting matchup, too, because you mentioned he's trying to find that. And for Arias, trying to kind of figure things out himself, too. Had a 35% strikeout rate the first half of last year. Was in the top 10 strikeouts in Yankees minor leagues history for the Florida Coastal League. But he did drop it down the second half to 22%.
Cleat caught on the mound there, and he kind of fell as he...
That's not comfortable.
I wonder if they'll have it... Looks like he's okay, but Cleat just caught and couldn't throw that pitch anywhere close to where he wanted. So now he's in a bases-loaded jam.
It's almost like that front leg double clutched as it came down for him to land.
I don't know how he didn't turn his ankle on that. Like the way that caught, he kind of had to throw over the top of his ankle. He's okay, staying in the game.
TJ Rumfield, nice strike. Lefty first baseman out of Virginia Tech in 2021. Dad Toby played up through AAA, last played in 2002. He's his high school coach back in Denton, Texas.
You and I have both done some work in the Arizona Fall League over the years. He was the batting champ out there in 2022. He's not your typical power over hit profile at first base. It's more the other way around. It's bat to ball, more kind of 15 home run power. So he doesn't quite fit the typical first base profile, but very good hitter, one of the better contact hitters in the Yankees organization.
It seems like that could be a balancing agent when we saw them kind of have that gap of more power and less hit for so long at the big league level.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just interesting because usually first base you want, that's your 30 home run guy, and he might be the guy who's more likely to hit 275 with 15 to 20 than go deep 30 times. But I mean, he's gotten to AAA, so he's knocking on the door of the big leagues.
Jam here for Morphy. And just low. These are those moments, as tough as it can be to watch for young guys, I find fascinating because you have to learn how to fail and you have to learn how to be in tough situations at this level. Cutting your teeth this early, it's a hard growing pain, but it's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a big league arm. There's no question of that. And obviously, to get to the big leagues, he's going to experience some adversity along the way and have to learn how to overcome it. And he's getting a dose of that today.
Rumfield here from the left side. Rafael Flores at third base. Jesus Rodriguez and Roderick Arias also aboard. One out and a 1-0 New York lead here early in the first. High ball 4. So a casual toss of the bat here for Rumfield as he'll walk in another run, and it's 2-0 New York.
There is some movement in the Orioles bullpen. There's somebody getting loose down there, but I don't think he's ready to come in quite yet. So I think we're going to get at least one more batter from Morphe before they make a change.
27 pitches so far. He gets Brendan Jones. Lefty right fielder, bases staying loaded and wide for Morphe, and shaking his head a little bit. You're starting to see that frustrated body language on the mound.
He's just having trouble repeating his delivery to throw any kind of consistent strikes, and unfortunately when you get more frustrated, it just makes it that much tougher. Jones is interesting. He did not make our Yankees top 30 prospects list, but he almost did. And he was just a 12th round pick last year out of Kansas State who's really impressed the Yankees. He's been better than they expected. He's got some bat-to-ball skills, some plate discipline, so he's not going to chase here against Morphe. Fouls that one straight back. Looks like a breaking ball, one of the better breaking balls he's thrown. He's got sneaky pop. He can run. He can play center field. Very interesting guy. He's from Nashville. I don't know if he's gotten in on this Vanderbilt bet, He
should.
Yeah, he should. Between Enrique Bradfield and Spencer Jones, we have 5 Vanderbilt players in tonight's game?
5 out of 9 total. Absolutely amazing. Because here's the thing that you're reminded of. LSU kind of pushed their way to the forefront. Tennessee is on a hot streak right now, just having those headlines in baseball. But Vanderbilt, under head coach Tim Corbin, they have stayed steady producers almost his entire tenure.
And that program was nothing before he got there.
Jones high in the air out towards left field, and there's Enrique Bradfield Jr. comes in, makes the catch. Runners will hold, and the Commodore allows no more for now. A big second out, and the bases stay loaded.
Yeah, Rodriguez is a below-average runner at third base, and that wasn't hit very deep at all, so that would have been kind of futile to test Enrique Bradfield Jr. there.
So out comes Chris Madera. He's the Orioles DSL manager. He's going to make a pitching change.
All my ladies roll your deal like this. When you move your body, feel confident. All my ladies try this deal real quick. Let your body how you see fit. My neck, my back, my legs and pits, all that. My neck, my back, your thighs will be intact. My neck, my back, I smell so good, they ask. All my ladies roll your deal like this. Ooh, I feel it. Ooh, I feel it. This could be a good night. Babe, no need to think twice.
Dreams begin here. Welcome to the Good Night Club.
You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game, knock it out the park, knock it out. You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game. The catch is thrown, not in time.
Patients who have sensitive teeth but also want whiter teeth, they have to make a choice, one versus the other. Sensodyne Clinical White provides 2 shades whiter teeth as well as providing 24/7 sensitivity protection. Patients are going to love to see Sensodyne on the shelf.
Keeler Morphe is done so far. The righty finishes 2/3 of this first inning. They'll turn things over to Levi Wells. You see his numbers here with high A Aberdeen. 21 starts, some tougher digits under that, but still plenty of reason to believe that he's going to keep growing through this.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's got a talented arm. I mean, he was a 4th-round pick out of Texas State back in 2023. Had an up-and-down junior season, which is why he lasted the 4th round. But, I mean, he can throw in the mid-90s when he's on. He's got high spin rates, so he can get some carry up in the zone. And he's got a really good feel for spin that extends to his curveball and slider. Not much of a changeup guy. Was 97 with that first fastball, so he's coming out here pretty hot.
1-0 to Brando Maes outside for ball 2. For Maea, another chance here to really take advantage. Was very honest, he was struggling with pitch recognition during his American debut last summer. So he swats one foul to right.
Yeah, so many of these guys are so young. He's just 19 years old. He played at 18 last season, turned 19 in September. He was the Yankees' top guy in their 2023 international class. He signed for $4.35 million, got some Gary Sheffield comparisons. And as you mentioned, he did struggle. He didn't really get too much power last year. He hit 282, but didn't get too much power. He does have plus speed. He does have a plus arm. Still young, so there's a chance to grow, obviously. But again, it says there, struggles with pitch recognition, and pro ball's not very forgiving, Melanie. If people realize you can't recognize spin, then you're going to see a lot of curveballs and sliders, and he can hit the fastball, and I mean, there you go, got him right there with the slider.
Gives up on the slider for Levi Wells, who puts the top of the first to an end. Orioles prospects up to bat when we come back.
I'm Jay, and this is my home. My first big purchase with help from Loan Depot. This is where I play my favorite music. This is where I grow my small garden. It is here that I laugh. It is here that I learn. It's my sanctuary. It's my place. It is my home. And home means everything to me.
This is the story of the one who doesn't just see a broken dock, he sees work stalled to a halt. Thankfully, he has Grainger, offering the scale to deliver fast. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What if I told you that one of the best things you can do to improve the look and performance of your car can be done for under $20 and in less than 30 minutes?
Fix your cloudy and weathered headlights with Cerakote's #1 best-selling ceramic headlight restoration kit in just 3 easy steps and without power tools. Just wipe, sand, and apply. It's that easy. Cerakote restores and protects, and for as long as you own your vehicle, it's guaranteed. You can trust Cerakote with over 60,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait until it's too late. Buy today for under $20.
We all love the big moment. The big moment doesn't start with the big result. It starts with the yard work. Because the big moment is just one moment forged by 1,000 moments. Strauss in Major League Baseball. Gear up, go yard.
Let's go and take a look at the Baltimore Orioles spring breakout starting lineup presented by T-Mobile. Enrique Bradfield Jr. leads things off. He's out in left field. The hard-hitting Samuel Basayo is catching and batting second. 2024 first-round pick Vance Honeycutt is cleaning things up and playing in center field. Griff O'Farrell bats seventh, the shortstop. And third baseman Max Wagner will round things out to get things started. For the Orioles spring breakout, they will be getting a look at the righty Carlos LaGrange for the Yankees.
Yeah, LaGrange, a lot bigger than Keeler Morphe, obviously. He's almost a foot taller, listed almost a foot taller at 6'7", 195.
Is that a prerequisite that the Yankees have to draft gargantuan humans?
Yeah, no, exactly. And he was they signed him for $10,000 out of the Dominican Republic. Bradfield trying for a bunt there and popping it up. And he came over to the U.S. His USA debut was 2023. He led the Florida Complex League in strikeouts, but he missed most of last year with back issues. Fastball, you could see him light it up. That last pitch was 99. As inconsistent movement, inconsistent control. Even though he's a tall guy, it's more of an upright delivery. huge gap between his ceiling and floor. Like, you could dream on this guy maybe being in the front half of a rotation, and you could also wonder if he's going to throw enough strikes to get to the big league. Slider's probably his best secondary pitch. That was 100. We just saw 100 right there on that last pitch. But like Morphe did in the first inning for the Orioles, he threw a couple pitches. He's battling. So I guess the last one was a strike. Oh, that one was high. The command comes and goes with him. We saw him in the fall league, and he really had trouble throwing strikes last year.
Well, you can see trying to figure it out there. Like you just said, you've got 100, but you've also got to be able to locate it, dial it in. You mentioned all the Vanderbilt connections. Again, Enrique Bradfield Jr. here, part of that. So he turns this one out to the left side, past the infield, and a leadoff base hit for the Orioles. He thinks about 2, but he'll settle for a leadoff single.
He did think about 2. I mean, he's one of the faster players in the minor leagues, and that was his old Vanderbilt teammate who fielded the ball, Spencer Jones. And you know, part of him wanted to test him. They have a bet. They have a dinner bet on who wins the game tonight. We have the 5 Vandy players, and I will admit my eyes aren't that good. I didn't see if he grinned, but he was thinking about testing his old teammate.
Cheshire Cat grin over there at first base. Bradfield is very proud of those wheels. He knows that that's a big skill set for him. Samuel Basayo, and they'll check, and this one gets away. Bradfield's going to get to show that speed.
He's going to be on third.
All the way out to the tarp. Yankees just now coming up with it. He'll get the stop sign, and as you said, Jim, third base with ease.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, when you have speed, like, I mean, the other team obviously knows how fast Enrique Bradfield is. It's not just stealing bases. It's putting pressure on the pitcher. Carlos LaGrange makes a bad pickoff throw, worrying about keeping Bradfield close, and now he's all the way on third base with nobody out.
You mentioned it, the dinner bet. He and Spencer Jones both were in the spring breakout game last year when this whole series kicked off. Spencer had a little bit louder of a game. Bradfield still going 1 for 3. Is this one now over the head of Rafael Flores, and a play at the plate. Bradfield slides. You're going to say safe.
That was a great bounce for the Yankees, and I think almost any other runner would have been out at the plate. And if Bradfield wasn't aggressive and broke as soon as the ball got by Flores, he's out. I mean, there are very few players who are going to score on that play with the ball bouncing straight back to the catcher.
And he gets down very early there. You see the hand going down and in. Doesn't dive too early, but starts that swim move.
He just beat Flores to that front right-hand corner of the plate.
LaGrange shaking his head as he went back to face Basayo.
And that's what's cool about these games. I mean, everybody knows, if you follow prospects, Enrique Bradfield, one of the fastest prospects in the minors. That's his thing. And we get to see it here in the first inning. I got to do the Red Sox-Rays game on Thursday, and we had 4 of the top 12 prospects in baseball, and they all hit home runs.
A mammoth out to right center field. Back goes Jones in the sunshine in front of the track, and not far enough. Wind blowing out to left, and Basayo just laughing. He thought he got a better hold of that one, but we take another look at this sailing over Rafael Flores.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think there's many guys safe on that. Good call by the umpire, because the catcher beat Enrique to the plate, but Enrique got to the front of the plate before the catcher could get to him.
So strike to Dylan Beavers. He manufactured his own run right there. You mentioned it. Creates pressure at first base. An error on the pitcher gets him to third. Now he's in your head because he's at third. You sail it, and he scores on a wild pitch. Dylan Beavers, a bouncer back up the middle, played by Arias. They get him in time.
And also, from going first to third, he's got that super aggressive mindset on the bases, too. He was immediately thinking third base as soon as the throw got by first base. He didn't hesitate. Like, a lot of guys aren't going to get to third base on that play necessarily.
It was Lombard Jr. crossing over in front to get things over to Rumfield in time. So 2 quickly away here. I mentioned it just moments ago, but the first-round pick in 2024 for the Orioles, Vance Honeycutt.
First-round pick in last year's draft. He had the best all-around tools of any college player in the draft. The biggest question is probably the most important tool is the bat. He has a tendency to swing and miss. Didn't have a great pro debut. But the rest of the tools, I mean, it's well above average raw power. It's well above average speed. It's a plus arm. Bradfield is one of the best defensive players in the minor leagues, and Honeycutt is not that far behind him.
Underneath this one, and he Again, out to the outfield and out to Brendan Jones. So a pair to right. The Orioles score 1 to cut it in half.
You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game, knock it out the park, knock it out. You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game.
The catch is thrown, not in time.
Do you want your car to have deep gloss, stay cleaner longer, and have it last for up to 50 washes, guaranteed?
Introducing Cerakote's new Rapid Ceramic Platinum. Our next generation paint sealant with improved gloss, unmatched slickness, and extreme water repellency. Simply spray it on and lightly buff to get long-lasting professional results. Just look at the difference. Water just blows right off. You can trust Cerakote's #1 selling products with over 60,000 5-star reviews. Buy today for under $20.
Dreams begin here. Welcome to the Good Night Club.
See the future on full display as the Spring Breakout Series continues on MLB Network. Get a first look at the game's top young talent as clubs' prized prospects go head-to-head. The Spring Breakout Series continues tonight on MLB Network.
Well, if you're a fan of the Baby Bombers, you've got a little bit to wait for a lot of these guys. The closest one, Jim, that we're looking at right now, at least on this roster, is Spencer Jones.
Yeah, and even Spencer, while he's super interesting, struck out 200 times last year in the minor league. So it's not going to be, and that was in Double-A. So he needs to, I'm sure he's going to begin the season in Triple-A, but he's going to have to prove he can make more consistent contact before he gets a chance. Now, obviously, guys like Jason Dominguez and Will Warren, who are probably going to make the team, aren't on that list. But if you look at that graphic, the interesting thing is most of their guys are, probably 2 or 3 years away from the big leagues in terms of the best prospects in this game.
Got Levi Wells back out. He'll get the 9-hole hitter, Ingeld Urena, to start things off, serving as the designated hitter. Does catch in the Yankee system.
Yeah, it's interesting. They have 4 catchers on their roster. Flores is starting at catcher. We've seen Jesus Rodriguez, who's not a very good catcher. He's playing third base. Arena's playing DH, and we'll probably see Edgeline Perez. I assume will be the backup catcher who comes in later in the game for Flores. But they, like I said, a lot of their catching prospects are offense first. The defense is secondary. And then, you look at their big league club. They've had guys like Jorge Posada and Gary Sanchez, and it was true of those guys as well.
You took the words out of my mouth because I remember sitting with you when it was a fall leaguer, Gary Sanchez, and a big graduating class of very heavy offensive catchers, and just watching him, trying to adjust. New York is tough on anybody, and the irony of baseball now being that Sanchez is on the other side of things in orange and black for Baltimore. Wells with a 2-2. And a tough play here, kicks off of the rubber at third base. It's going to be a long way to go for Max Wagner to track this one down, and easy for Urena to end up at first base. That's what we call a great hop for him.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if if it didn't hit the base. Arena's not a great runner. I don't know if Max would have had a play, but he might have. Urena's smiling. That's, in the box score, it looks like it is a base hit. So nobody knows it bounced off the bag. He did hit it pretty hard.
So flip back up to the top. George Lombard Jr. out to center field, loud, but Honeycutt is there. First pitch and a flyout.
This is just spring breakout game, but I was talking about Vance Honeycutt being almost as good defender as Enrique Bradfield. It's interesting. Vance Honeycutt's playing center today, and Enrique Bradfield's playing left. I don't know how they determine that.
I was just going to say, how often do you think that switches around?
If they were on the same big league team, it might. We have them both as 70 defenders on the 20 to 80 scouting scale. So, I think Enrique is probably a little bit more famous to this point because Vance just got to pro ball, but Vance is right there with him. And Judd Fabian's played center field as well.
Mm-hmm.
They have an outfield that's got 3 center fielders in it right now.
Now, you throw out the what if the left field wall had stayed out in Baltimore, which now it's come in a little bit, that would be prime running space for Bradfield.
Yep.
Spencer Jones, so far, looking at eyeing a steak dinner tonight. I know we've mentioned this several times, but he called up Enrique. He said once the rosters were revealed in the Spring Breakout show, and both of them were returning for the second time, so he said, hey, dinner's on the line, and it's simple. Whoever wins the game has to buy dinner. So for Spencer, he said, yeah, he's going to get me a nice steak, and Enrique will not commit. He said, no, I just want to see how the game goes
That's
first.
Good. I like Enrique's focused. He's not thinking about, he's focusing on what he can control, and he'll worry about the meal later. And Spencer Jones hit 2 home runs in last year's Spring Breakout game for the Yankees. He was one of the top performers. Now he's been hit by 2 pitches. I think he probably enjoyed last year more often. That was only 96, so that probably felt good compared to the 99 that Morphe got him. I think it got the guard again, fortunately. But
so we'll take another look here. They're just, if you get hit, there's no chance for you to hit a home run, I guess.
That's right.
The Aaron Judge treatment arrives early.
He's like wondering what he's done to the Orioles. It's like, come on.
The rivalries start young. We're going to start that storyline. Rafael Flores and a foul ball. Another great crowd here this evening. The more that social media, digital availability, everything has grown the game of minor league baseball. The Fall League gets so much more attention now than it did a decade ago. These kids are really getting on the map. They're getting ingrained with the fan base so early.
Yeah, it's fun to get to see these guys, well before they get to the big leagues. And I know I work for MLB, and I'm not just saying this. Last year, launching this event, when you're talking about 27-man rosters for 30 teams and 16 games, that's a lot. And I thought it came off really well last year. And this year, the thing that I've noticed are the crowds. There were 6,500 fans in Clearwater, where I was yesterday. I think they were expecting a crowd of maybe 5,000 tonight. Like, you do not see many empty seats here. And it's just year 2, and already fans know what this is. Fans are coming to the game. There's no doubleheader. A lot of the games were doubleheaders last year, joined up with a regular spring training game. No, the fans are just here to see the prospects. And I know, Melanie, you've talked to a lot of players too, like I have. It's just year 2. The players are excited. The players want to be in this.
Yeah.
They're looking forward to it. Whether it's the Spencer Jones Enrique Bradfield rivalry. There's a lot of relationships like that.
Flores out towards right, sends Fabian twisting, but he finds it in and out of the shadows and retires. Flores a long drive, but an out. And 2 away. We'll go ahead and take a look at the defense here, presented to you by T-Mobile. So again, Fabian just made the out and right. We mentioned it. Vance Honeycutt in center with Enrique Bradfield Jr. flanking his left around the bases. Max Wagner at third. Griffo Farrell, the shortstop. Aaron Estrada at second base. Ethan Anderson plays first. And Samuel Basayo catching so far.
I mean, that's a very stout outfield right there. And then you've got a Farrell who's one of the best college shortstops in last year's draft. So some good leather. I mean, it seems like the Orioles always have good defensive teams. I grew up in the D.C. area when we didn't have a team in D.C. We had the Orioles, and you always had Mark Belanger and Brooks Robinson and Paul Blair and Bobby Grich and on and on and on. I mean, those Earl Weaver teams always had good defense, and they got a lot of quality defenders on the way up.
Outside runners go, but the call to Basayo as he throws down to third. Oh, and now they're going to say it came off. Tag applied by Max Wagner. Not paying full attention, and the Orioles' young prospects capitalize. Basayo with a flash of the arm gets the third out here in the top of the second and keeps the Yankees off the scoreboard, but still a 2-1 lead for New York.
Whenever heartburn strikes, get fast relief with Tums. It's time to love food back. Also try Tums Gummy Bites.
Give me a hot pink Cosmopolitan and some drama.
Give me a Kettle One soda with a twist.
Give me an early morning tea time and a Bloody Mary with Kettle One vodka.
Give me a cocktail with Kettle One vodka.
Can't get enough baseball? Get MLB Network today to stream up to 15 live out-of-market games a week and 24/7 access to MLB Network's award-winning shows. Start streaming MLB Network for just $5.99 a month.
It's time for Pitch, Hit, and Run, the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball.
Give the kids in your community a chance to flex their superpowers, and they could earn a trip to the national finals at the 2025 World Series presented by Capital One. So go ahead, be the one who powers their dreams, and sign up to host a local pitch hit and run event. It's a free and fun way to promote baseball, softball, and your organization. To learn more, go to pitchhitrun.com.
Bottom of the second inning, and we'll see the middle of the order here for the Orioles prospects. Ethan Anderson, the switch-hitting first baseman, will lead things off. Yankees with an early 2-1 lead here over the Orioles. Now Samuel Basayo, again, by the skin of their teeth, catching Ureña as he tried to take third base. Foul back here for Anderson.
Nice play by Wagner to keep the tag on him. He had the 1 foot, came off. It was only for a split second, but I mean, that's why I think instant replay has trained guys to do that more too, is keep the tag on him and you might steal some outs.
We had a brief pause in play, removing a frisbee in center field. Spencer Jones with the retrieval. Outside for LaGrange to Ethan Anderson. .100 from the tall righty. Lifted out towards left and foul. You mentioned it, a quick moment here from Max Wagner. 1 and 2. He couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
2 to Anderson is high.
I wonder, it was so bang because he was only off the base for like a split second. I wonder if they had replay. They would have been looking at that to see did he actually come off the bag while the tag was on him. But
for it appear they appeal down to third. He went. Anderson set down. First strikeout for LaGrange.
Yeah, I was going to say it's tough when LaGrange is throwing 98, 99, 100, and then he comes at you with an off-speed pitch at 90 and you're geared up. It's hard to check that swing time sometimes. I'll give LaGrange credit. I saw him a couple times in the fall league, and he showed this kind of stuff, but absolutely zero control. Again, he was coming off a season where he missed most of the year with back issues, and he's doing a really nice job of throwing strikes here today to go with the quality stuff.
It seems once he got that right, you started to see it, that emergence out of the depths. So he gets free swinging Judd Fabian here, 1-1.
He's working off speed on Fabian.
And it wasn't an overly long first inning for him. Pitch to contact after Enrique Bradfield Jr. got in his head a little bit.
Yeah, once Enrique got off the bases, he settled down. All was fine.
You just have to get rid of him. 2-2 now, and you can see there just 22 pitches for him so far. For Fabian, competitive round pick for the Orioles back in 2022 out of Ocala, Florida. Not too far from here. And he's set down. Back-to-back strikeouts now for LaGrange. Really rolling here for the Yankees in the second inning.
Yeah, 100 miles an hour on that fastball. He's been popping triple digits pretty consistently this inning. And again, he can do that. I mean, he's a big guy, long levers, generates plenty of velocity. And again, I mean, it's a 2-inning outing, so we're not putting this guy in the big leagues yet, of course. But this is what the Yankees want to see out of him this year, is stay healthy, show this kind of stuff, but show that you can actually throw it for strikes and then mix in some secondary pitches. And this has been an impressive outing for him so far. Again, once he stopped worrying about Enrique Bradfield, once he wild pitched him in, he's got retired 5 in a row, including 2 strikeouts this inning.
He tried to pick him off at first base, and after that, it's okay, any other way.
Well, they almost had the trick play where he fired the ball as hard as he could off the backstop, and it bounced straight back to the catcher, and Bradfield just beat the throw to the plate for the first run of the game. Or the first run for the Orioles, I should say.
Griffo Farrell here out of Virginia was one of the toughest to strike out in college ball. And the 2-1 pitch, a ground ball straight back to Lombard, the shortstop, to first. Plenty of time. 3 up, 3 down for New York, a 2-1 lead.
you're still paying for that one?
I forgot about it.
Experian shows you all your subscriptions and can cancel the ones you don't want, like Sleepy McStreamy over there.
This could save me money.
Download the Experian app.
What if I told you that one of the best things you can do to improve the look and performance of your car can be done for under $20 and in less than 30 minutes?
Fix your cloudy and weathered headlights with Cerakote's #1 best-selling ceramic headlight restoration kit in just 3 easy steps and without power tools. Just wipe, sand, and apply. It's that easy. Cerakote restores and protects, and for as long as you own your vehicle, it's guaranteed. You can trust Cerakote with over 60,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait until it's too late. Buy today for under $20.
How do you sleep at night? On a mattress from Mattress Firm. So I sleep.
At the Upgrade Your Sleep sale, save up to $600 on Sealy and get a free adjustable base. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night.
Well, we mentioned that there is so much exciting talent here, and this is a name you have to pay attention to. George Lombard Jr., the 26th overall pick for the Yankees back in 2023, following the footsteps of his dad, who had 6 major league seasons. Jim, you mentioned it earlier, the bench coach for the Tigers, and you can see just plus tools across the board, a really good hitter, and the number 2 overall prospect, and on headset with us now in the Yankees dugout. George, we're so glad to have you here with us. Now, I just want to dive right into this because you've talked about being around big league camp and watching these guys go to work and just absorbing everything from them. Who have you been learning the most from?
First of all, thank you guys for having me. And it's hard to name one guy, but for sure some of them, like Anthony Volpe, he's been great. Just everybody knows how good, especially on the defensive side, everybody knows how good he's been. So working with him, learning from him defensively. Then I've talked a lot with Belly, with Goldie, some of the veterans, about hidden things, offensive things, just kind of knowing the game and maturing in both my approach and my routines and how I go about my business. But everybody's been great. It's been a great experience.
George, how much does it help having a father who played in the big leagues, coached in the big leagues? I talk to players who've been in similar situations. It seems like there's so many of them. And it just seems like guys are more comfortable when they get into pro ball. They know what to expect. It's a familiar environment. Did you find that was the case with you?
For sure. I mean, there's definitely quite a few of us that have been around the game, but it's such a huge help just being familiar with the baseball lifestyle and being around all the guys every day and kind of what it takes day in and day out. It's been, I feel like it's just helped me so much to prepare and to know what to expect. So I'm always very grateful for it.
So tell me on the other side of things about your mom, because we heard she's also pretty active. She gives you some tips from time to time. Take us inside that.
All the time. I mean, she's with my dad and his coach, and he's can't be around to watch me play as much as she can. So she's been, a staple for both my brother and I. Just all the summer ball games, all the travel, all the time she's put into us. Definitely wouldn't be here without her. And she's definitely is not afraid to put in a word or two on the coaching side if she sees anything for both of us. I'm always so grateful for her and everything that she's done for both of us.
I'm going to stick with the family theme for one more question. Give us a scouting report on Jacob. I'm hearing potential first-round pick in 2026. How's he compared to you at the same age?
He's a stud. I don't want to go into a comparison, but he's a stud in his own right, and I know he's gonna be successful in whatever route he ends up going. But it's so great being able to be around him, compete with him, train with him. We both push each other to get better, and he's gonna be a stud.
You've talked to a couple people so far about your off season. You were coming a little more upright, quieting your hands a little more. What kind of changes did that make in your swing, that connectivity you were looking for?
It's a little bit of everything. Like it wasn't I tried to attack anything specific in my swing. It was just feeling a little bit more comfortable, trying to get a little bit more consistent with everything. And I've been feeling good. As you said, I've been seeing the ball well. I feel like I'm in control of my body. It's just keep it going. I think the experience and getting more at-bats under my belt, it definitely helps. We're just trying to get better every day.
I know from talking to scouts who saw you early last year, you were having some issues early on swinging and missing at fastballs in the zone. Are these changes in the offseason designed to help make that adjustment? And it seemed like you did have much more success in the second half of last season in handling fastballs in the zone.
Yeah, that's definitely something we worked on last year. It was an adjustment that I had to make for sure. But yeah, that's there's always, I feel like in this sport it's always a back and forth with you figure out this and then something else comes up and then it's just so on and so on. So it's always a game of constant adjustments, and it's definitely one of the things that I had to work on and still working on every day. Yeah, it's I feel like I've definitely made improvements in that on that side of it.
We have got a 2-strike and 2-out situation here. So if you can just quickly tell us, what does a spring breakout game mean to you, George?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, I got to play in the one last year. It was a great experience. We played well, got a great win, and being again this year, being more familiar with all the guys and all the staff, it's such a great experience getting out here. There's so much talent on the field, but yeah, I just hopefully get another win this year.
Well, we'll see. George Lombard Jr., thank you so much for joining us. 3 up, 3 down again here. Yankees, a 2-1 lead over the Orioles.
A real meal deserves a real dessert, like the DQ $7 meal deal. With a cheeseburger or 3-piece chicken strips, full-size fries, a drink, and a sundae, you get an honest-to-goodness full meal all for just $7 at DQ.
Give me a hot pink Cosmopolitan and some drama.
Give me a Kettle One soda.
With a twist. Give me an early morning tea time and a Bloody Mary with Kettle One vodka.
Give me a cocktail with Kettle One vodka.
The road to the regular season keeps rolling. Sunday on MLB Network, the Houston Astros take on the New York Mets at 1 Eastern. Your front row seat to all things baseball. Only on MLB Network.
MLB The Show 25, take 3.
What's up, guys? I'm Eli De La Cruz.
This is Paul Skeens.
Gunnar Henderson here. I am super excited to be sharing the cover of MLB The Show 25.
But we're going to play for real?
This is the fun part right here. It's a huge honor to be on the cover with 2 great athletes.
Welcome to the show.
That's a wrap.
Rated E for everyone.
The 2025 season is here. Catch a special morning edition of MLB Tonight for all the highlights and analysis as the Cubs and Dodgers kick off the regular season from Tokyo, Japan. Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern, only on MLB Network.
Yeah, we're going to break down the Yankees' best tools here in the 20 to 80 scouting scale. 50 represents average. And the guy we've seen on the mound starting the game for the Yankees today, Carlos LaGrange, 70 fastball. 70 fastball. Melanie, I don't know. Today, with the way he's looked, we should go 80 on him because he's been sitting 98 to 100.
Boost. Okay.
We could, but based on today's performance, sitting 98 to 100. His last one to Griffith Farrell last inning was 101, and he's actually thrown it for strikes, which was the big question. I mean, it's definitely 80 velocity, but yeah, he's lived up. And that to me, again, is the coolest part of these games, is seeing the best prospects living up to their expectations, showing you what they can do. And yeah, I mean, he's far from the big leagues. He's young. He's got to figure out secondary pitches and control. But you could see why when he's on, people get excited about it.
Okay, so I need you to pull up the back end of Pipeline here. Start changing the numbers.
That's right. I don't know if I have access to Forge, which is the program we use. I don't know if I can. They want me if they'll let me do that. But and again, we aren't going to be. We're joking, of course. We're not going to revise his grade based on one game. But today, I mean, that's been an 80 fastball today.
And plenty of reason to see why he would come back. He's only at 31 pitches right now, so a really good chance here for him to work in the third inning against Aaron Estrada, the switch-hitting second baseman for the O's.
And again, when I was in the fall league last year, watching him come back from back issues, there were single innings where he threw more than 31 pitches.
Gets Estrada to ground out, and the first away. You mentioned that scouting scale. Let's go and break this down a little bit further, though, and you just said it. Came in with that 70 fastball, but well above average. That 80 is the ceiling. 20 to 30 is where you absolutely don't want to be. 50 is right about in the middle. So, as you said, overall, that's 65 or better. That's where things start to look like big league tools.
Yeah, and at 50, just to clarify too, it's average, but big league average is pretty good. Like if you do something like an average big leaguer, it's pretty good. And just to put it in perspective, like say if we're talking about power, 50 would be a 50 power hitter would be 20 homers per year. 60 power hitter would be 30. Fastball wise, average velocity, it's about 94 miles an hour, I think, is your average fastball velocity these days. It seems like that keeps going up. And then 96 mile an hour would be 60, and then for fastballs, we're talking about LaGrange. You also factor in the movement of the pitch, his ability to command the pitch. It's not just pure velocity, but yeah, it's kind of a simple scale they used to compare guys. We talked about Enrique Bradfield's speed. That's an 80. He has 80 speed. We talked about how great he and Vance Honeycutt both are defensively. They're 70 defenders, so that's a Gold Glove caliber defender. And you can use this. I don't know if you do this, but having rated prospects I'm going on almost 4 decades of doing it now because I'm getting old. You can rate restaurants. That was a 50 restaurant. You can rate anything on the 20 to 80 scouting scale.
He's got a chance here. You look at, again, Enrique Bradfield Jr. is in the on-deck circle, the 9th batter. LaGrange will get to face. It's Max Wagner as he sends another foul back. 2-2. Wagner, a second-round pick back in 2022, former Clemson Tiger.
Yeah, and he was interesting. He did not play much his first year at Clemson, and he didn't play at the beginning of that season, and then he caught fire and I think led college baseball in homers the second half of the season.
Pops it up here. Tracking in comes George Lombard Jr., and it's 2 down. So here comes Enrique Bradfield Jr. And look at that, just great recognition. But this is what you love, and you mentioned it. They know he's fast, and it creates that mental game.
Yeah, and again, this ball bounced straight back to the arena behind the plate, and anybody who doesn't have 80 speed's out on that play. But Enrique Bradfield Jr. has 80 speed. You could also see, like I was mentioning before too, when the ball got by the first baseman, he looked to pick up where it was right away, and then his head down, he was going to third, like he knew.
And I think that's another part of it too. It's not just the speed, it's trusting your own intuition. If he hesitates to go, you're still done.
Right, and again, there are plenty of fast guys who aren't great base stealers. He's got the instincts for it too, and he's got the instincts to play in center field as well.
Well, another clean inning. Yankees rolling 2-1 right now as we head to the 4th inning in Sarasota.
Everyone wants to be the Cadbury Bunny, because only he brings delicious Cadbury cream eggs, while others may keep trying. No bunny knows Easter better than Cadbury.
With Rao's made-for-home brick oven crust pizza, delicious is finally in the frozen pizza aisle. We start with Rao's iconic sauce, then pile on all the best toppings, so your backup plan becomes a night you plan for. And pizza we crust.
What if I told you that one of the best things you can do to improve the look and performance of your car can be done for under $20 and in less than 30 minutes?
Fix your cloudy and weathered headlights with Cerakote's #1 best-selling ceramic headlight restoration kit in just 3 easy steps and without power tools. Just wipe, sand, and apply. It's that easy. Cerakote restores and protects, and for as long as you own your vehicle, it's guaranteed. You can trust Cerakote with over 60,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait until it's too late. Buy today for under $20.
Liberty. Liberty Mutual is all she talks about since we saved hundreds by bundling our home and auto insurance.
Liberty. It's pronounced Bibberty.
Liberty.
Bibberty.
Liberty.
Nice try, kid. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, liberty, liberty.
Liberty.
Can't get enough baseball? Get MLB Network today to stream up to 15 live out-of-market games a week, 24/7 access to MLB Network, and live radio for all 30 clubs. Stream MLB Network with MLB at Bat for $6.99 a month.
All right, well, for the Orioles, as you take a look at their ETA, and again, you've got a couple here in 2025. Dylan Beavers, Samuel Basayo, again, a name that's on everybody's tip of their tongue right now, and more down the line. 2027 could be fun in the AL East.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, as you know from covering the Orioles on a regular basis, they have so many young players. It's like, how do you get all these guys into the lineup? I mean, Basayo needs to clean up the catching a little bit, but there's not really much more he has to do offensively. He got to AAA at 19 and fared well. Like, he's going to be ready soon. You know, that list, again, it doesn't include players who aren't here. You know, Kobe Mayo, we're going to see him at Baltimore at some point in 2025. Chase McDermott, guys like that who are in big league camp. But it's a good problem to have, but it'll be interesting to see. You know, you had some movement, some guys left, new guys in the lineup this year, but they still have so much young talent on the position side to try to incorporate.
And we'll get another look at Patrick Riley here, who had a very quick inning in the third, including a pair of strikeouts to Arias and Rumfield. He starts things off with Brendan Jones, who flied out in the first inning.
Patrick Riley, this is a guy who can make a leap this year. He always had a good arm. When he was at Vanderbilt, inconsistent control. And Vanderbilt, we talked about how loaded they are. There's 5 guys in this game.
We're going to play bingo for how often we say Vanderbilt.
Exactly. Don't play it as a drinking game, though, because the alcohol poisoning. But I was going to say, with Patrick Riley, their pitching staff was so loaded, his inconsistent control command, he never really had a regular role in the rotation. But, he's a guy who could be up to 100. He does issue a walk there to Brennan Jones lead off the inning. But, you can see here, he's up to 100 miles an hour. The slider, it's a power slider. He can turn it into an even harder cutter. It's a power arm. He has a little bit of a changeup, too. I admit, I was a little surprised when the Pirates were trading for Billy Cook that they would give up an arm like Patrick Riley. He's just getting started his pro career, but it's a high-quality arm. You develop him as a starter. If that doesn't work out, this is a guy who's got the stuff to pitch in the late innings as a reliever. And, we were talking about how Carlos LaGrange has been much more efficient today than we've seen it out of him in the past. That third inning from Patrick Riley, we had to rush through that interview with George Lombard Jr. because Patrick Riley was just bam, bam, bam. I don't know how many pitches he threw, but it felt like it was about 12 or 13 pitches to pitch a 1-2-3 inning.
Flying bat and the ball out towards right, but it won't stay fair. For Brando Maella, that's a heads up if you've ever needed one. Shards just going everywhere, and he's left with a toothpick.
I think he's going to have to get a new bat.
I don't think he can even play pickleball with that. Just sawed it right off there. And that's so tough, too, because some of these guys, this is something you don't think about. The big leaguers have a whole timber yard of bats available to them. And some minor league guys, I've watched them over the years. If you're not that high-profile guy who has a bat deal, you kind of beg, borrow, and steal from other teammates. If they have a deal, they'll let you borrow some of theirs, especially if it works well for you. So anytime one goes to the graveyard, you kind of shed a tear and step back in the plate.
He did sign for $4.35 million.
I think he's good.
He might have a deal.
He might be the one dealing them to teammates.
And if he doesn't have a deal, he can afford some good lumber. But no, you're absolutely right. If you don't have a bat deal and you don't have a big selection of bats, you don't want to use a good bat in BP. You got to use it's tough.
Kickoff move over to first, not in time. Jones with a slide back in under the tag of Anderson.
He can run. He's got 60, 65 speed on that 20 to 28 scouting scale. It is interesting. Well, when we talk about Pizzaio, I keep saying he needs to polish up his defense by the plate. It's more the receiving. He's got a well above average arm. So if Jones is going to test him, he's going to do so at his own risk.
And that's usually, when you hear that arm does need work, it's usually the opposite.
Yeah.
It's making sure that you're not overhyped, that you're calm and you're direct when you are targeting a runner. He'll go again here, throw up top to Pizzaio, and it skips away. Shallow defense for Honeycutt, though, as he backs up the infield, so it won't be more than an extra base here for Jones, but an advancement all the same.
He got a really good jump on that. We were just talking up Pizzaio's arm strength. He was going to have a hard time throwing him out on that one with the jump he got.
So you take a look again, that easy outside advancement there. And under Estrada's glove. Maella high out towards right center. Honeycutt calls off Fabian and makes the catch. Tag, and not much effort really there to take third. Jones will stay put. Fly to center field for Maella, and he's retired.
Yeah, Honeycutt's got a good arm to go with his defensive prowess in center field. So you can't really test him on that one.
They called him a highlight reel with the glove while he was in college.
No, he could do it all. Like I said, it's the strikeout rate was high. It was pushing 30% at North Carolina, and it was even higher than that in his brief pro debut. So he's going to have to cut down on that. But if he can hit consistently, he could be a 30-30 Gold Glove center fielder. If Enrique Bradfield cedes center field to him, he might have to settle for Gold Glove on a corner, I guess.
And it's not the first time that Baltimore has done that in recent history. At one point, Austin Hayes and Cedric Mullins were both center fielders, and Hayes said until we both showed up at Double-A together and almost had to play rock, paper, scissors for who goes where.
It's interesting because when you're coming up to the minors, teams will bounce guys around. Just like it's possible. that George Lombard Jr. and Roderick Arias will be on the same team. So only one can play shortstop every day. So you give guys versatility at different positions. But when you get to the big leagues, you aren't doing that. You aren't bouncing guys around. Like one guy will be the center fielder, one guy will be the corner outfielder for the most part.
And you've seen that big tag placed on raw athletic shortstops because their flexibility to adjust that athleticism elsewhere on the diamond has started to really come to the top. As now it's another miss. 4 straight balls here to Urania, and he's going to go ahead and take it first.
And now he's got to face the top of the lineup. So Riley is struggling with the control and command this inning, which has been his bugaboo. He's always had a good arm. He's been throwing 96, 97. I think we're seeing a 91 mile an hour. I don't know if that was a cutter or a changeup, but his secondary pitches have both been in the low 90s, and he's just having trouble throwing strikes right now.
So George Lombard Jr. will get another chance. And a first pitch strike. So far, he's struck out and flied out this evening.
It really would not surprise me. I know those aren't like, unbelievable numbers, 231, 672 ops, but he did make a lot of progress in the second half of the season. Got into that one.
Out towards center field, Honeycutt back at the track and in front of the wall, makes the catch. Stumbling, though, at second base. Jones still makes it to third. So fortunate there, a fly out for Lombard, but he puts runners on the corners.
You can see the strength by Lombard there. He just hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark, but he really got into that one. And what I was going to say is, even though he didn't put up big numbers last year, he was just 19. It was his first full season of pro ball. I really think he's going to potentially be one of the top handful of shortstop prospects in all of the minor leagues after this season.
It just sounds different for some of these guys. 2 outs. And outside for Spencer Jones.
Yeah, and Spencer Jones is really the Yankees version of Vance Honeycutt. He came out of college a couple years before, so he's played more. And, he's hoping he doesn't get hit by a pitch a third time. But, he's 6'6", 235. He's a good athlete for his size.
Not hit by a pitch this time, but to his former teammate Enrique Bradfield Jr. ranging towards the line. And a Commodore retires another former Commodore here. No more damage for New York. Still a 2-1 lead, middle of the fourth.
The 3 for Me, only at Chili's, serves up the Big Smasher Burger. Or you could settle for a drive-thru. Plus get fries, a drink, and bottomless chips and salsa for just $10.99. See you later, tiny drive-thru burger. This Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
Insurify. At Insurify, we make it easy to cut your car insurance bill in half. Half? How? Just go to Insurify.com and compare dozens of quotes in a few clicks. We cut out the middleman so you can cut your bill in half. Go to Insurify.com and save up to 50% on your car insurance.
You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game, knock it out the park, knock it out. You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game. The catch was thrown, not in time.
We all love the big moment. The big moment doesn't start with the big result. It starts with the yard work. Because the big moment is just one moment forged by 1,000 moments. Strauss in Major League Baseball. Gear up, go yard.
Give me a hot pink Cosmopolitan and some drama.
Give me a Kettle One soda. With a twist.
Give me an early morning tea time and a Bloody Mary with Kettle One vodka.
Give me a cocktail with Kettle One vodka.
Anchor down for spring breakout. Vanderbilt is making their mark again on the rosters this year. She has 52 former Commodores played at least one professional game in 2024. Tim Corbin, the head coach for Vanderbilt, took over and started coaching in 2003, and this mark just continues. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Not just 9 guys, 5 in this game. There would have been a 10th. Dominic Keegan, who's a sleeper catching prospect, the Rays organization, minor injury, and they want him to focus on getting ready for the season, and it would have been 10. But yeah, I don't know who's in charge of keeping spring breakout records, but 5 guys from one school in one game, I feel like that's going to be very, very difficult to beat.
It absolutely has to be, and even then outside of that, there's so much SEC talent that's sprinkled in here. Look, you love this. He's been waiting for it. Finally got to retire Spencer Jones, and he probably said, listen, put that steak dinner on the shelf for just a minute here. As Basayo high out towards right center field. Unfortunately, the wrong direction for the wind. It's Spencer Jones who's there to take it away.
LaGrange going a fourth inning, so we're getting to see a lot of him. He's been very efficient, only at 43 pitches, still throwing 99 miles an hour. And again, I mean, one game does not a prospect make, but this is exactly what the Yankees are hoping to see from him this year. I mean, they could not have scripted this any better. He's throwing strikes, looking very comfortable on the mound, looking healthy.
He gets Dylan Beavers here, who's serving as the designated hitter this afternoon. Again, so much different talent to choose from. Another 2022 draft pick with Max Wagner as he offers up and evens the count.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, between Bradfield, the outfield of Bradfield, Honeycutt, and Judd Fabian. Bradfield was Vanderbilt, obviously. Honeycutt, UNC. Fabian was Florida. Dylan Beavers was an outfielder at California. I think they were all college All-American outfielders. Seems like the Orioles every year, doesn't seem like they take, their last two first-round picks were Bradfield and Honeycutt, but it seems like most year, and I guess Beavers was the one, their top pick the year before that, they're always taking that college outfielder in the first round. So,
and it's definitely, you can see the preference there, and every team has.
Colton Cowser and Heston Kjerstad too, who we aren't even talking about as prospects anymore. I'm just my head's spinning. Yeah, they do mix in an Adley Rutschman and a Jackson Holiday, but I want to say I think 5 of their last 7 drafts, their top pick has been a college outfielder.
And we know that they do love the college preference over anything. You just get that little extra polish. They've had a little more taste. You know, for this whole crew, just the job that they have done revitalizing the system is Beavers into left, and there's Brando Maia, 2 down.
But what I like too is they aren't so steadfast that it's only college. When the circumstances dictate, 2022, the best players, they're picking number 1, the best players at the top of the draft were all high school guys. They took Jackson Holiday. And the year they took Adley Rutschman, they had the number 1 pick, they had a large bonus pool, and they were able to float Gunnar Henderson, who was a high school player, down to the second round and pay him an overslot bonus. So it's fine to have preferences, and it obviously the college players work well for the Orioles, but when it becomes so dogmatic, like we're only taking college players, that's where I think you get into trouble. And that's what I like about the Orioles. Like, look, they weren't going to walk away from Jackson Holiday because he was a high school player.
Exactly.
And even though they took Adley Rutschman over Bobby Witt Jr. with the first pick in 2019, which I think most teams would have, Bobby was a high school kid. They went a high school kid in the second round. So they're not afraid. You know, Kobe Mayo was an overslot high school player too. So it's not dogmatic. They do have their preferences. But in the end of the day, as it should, talent wins out. It's not just demographics.
That's extremely well said. And you take a look down the line here at just more names. And again, this was a system Mike Elias, Kobe Perez, Matt Blood all took over, and there wasn't a lot there as Honeycutt out towards left center field sends a pair of Yankees back. A diving attempt for Spencer Jones, and no chance. Takes a bounce and comes back in. They're going to send him around, trying to get another run and tie it up, and that's exactly what he'll do. The baby birds generating their own runs. Vance Honeycutt ties it up on a swing.
That was pretty funny. We've been talking, maybe not on air, but we were talking about how the wind's blowing out to left, and this ball kept going and going and going. I thought it was going to hop the fence, and it didn't. It clipped the top of the fence. And the thing is, he never stopped running. He had the play in front of him, never stopped running, picked up the third base coach. I thought he might blow out a tire there coming around third. I think he's probably getting some oxygen or something in the dugout. But Vance Honeycutt can run. I mean, he's not just a power hitter. I mean, we talked about his great all-around tools, and that was just a perfectly placed ball, and he never hesitated.
And perfect, you mentioned this, just didn't break speed. He was approaching second base to see that it didn't bounce out for a ground rule double, and once that happened, it was game on.
Because you'll see sometimes, guy will be like, okay, it's going to go over the fence, or it's hit to left, that's a double, and they'll pull up. But he was running full speed because he knew as he rounded second, if they came up with the ball quickly, he could always stop. But that was pretty exciting. That's going to go down as one of the highlights of Spring Breakout 2025.
They said, listen, I heard you're updating some grading in this game. I'd like you to look at my speed again.
Yeah, we'll have. He's got a big smile on his face. The dinner bet is now even again. Enrique Bradfield's probably smiling somewhere in there.
Very true. On the ground, crossing over as Lombard to get Ethan Anderson, and the inning draws to a close. But Vance Honeycutt, the former Diamond heel, putting it where no one can get it and bringing himself home. We're tied at 2.
Introducing new Eroxon Gel, the first FDA-cleared ED treatment available without a prescription. Roxon gel is clinically proven to work within 10 minutes, so you and your partner can experience the heights of intimacy. New Roxon ED Treatment Gel.
Buying a car is kind of a big deal, but you use the Car Gurus app. That's a price drop alert, so the deals come to you. Oops. Big deals right when you need them. Car Gurus. Download the app today.
Spring's in full swing on MLB Network. Recap the day with MLB Tonight. Catch up on the day's news, highlights, and even hear from the players themselves.
I want to win a World Series. I want to do it in Kansas City.
MLB Tonight. Coverage continues through opening day.
Since its inception, the Boys and Girls Clubs have been more than a fun place for kids to go after school. For some, it's been a second home where they can learn, play, and grow. Thanks to the partnership between Major League Baseball and Boys and Girls Clubs, children of all backgrounds have access to safe spaces. All right, let's go. Take a selfie. MLB Together and the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, empowering children and building futures. Bring it in.
More baseball, more action. Sunday on MLB Network at 6 a.m. Eastern, it's the Cubs and the Yomiuri Giants in an international exhibition game from Tokyo. Then it's a doubleheader of prospect action starting at 4 p.m. Eastern as the Spring Breakout Series continues.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Absolutely stellar night in Sarasota, Florida, as the spring breakout prospects between the Orioles and the Yankees all tied up now, and a new man on the mound for the Orioles as he misses wide here. Casallo holds on as Rafael Flores digs in for the Yankees.
And we get Luis De Leon on the mound, one of the Orioles' better pitching prospects. Pretty interesting guy. He's working quickly. Ground ball, second pitch, one out.
Pitch to contact. Griffo Farrell, the shortstop, reels it in and deals it. Flores retired.
Yeah, here you go. Luis De Leon, 6'3", listed at 168. So there's a lot of projection remaining. You know, he's got a nice three-pitch mix. He can get up to the upper 90s. He can also get a lot of sink on that fastball and get some ground outs. He's got a chance to have an average or better slider. Same thing with the changeup, throws strikes.
Almost a very clean look what I have here, but he recovers and gets the out himself. Jesus Rodriguez retired.
So, I mean, that's what, 3 pitches, 2 outs? Like, he's, I guess Luis De Leon wants to pitch multiple innings. We're looking here at our Orioles' best tools, and you can see we gave him the best slider, which is a 60. You know, we saw Morphe earlier. We saw him lighting up with the fastball. But, you know, De Leon, the nice thing is it's not just a slider. He can come at you with 3 pitches. So you can't worry about the slider. You have to worry about his ability. He can miss bats with a fastball. He can also get ground outs with it as well.
And big chase there for Arias. And they're starting to really preach this, not being afraid to pitch to contact, because at the end of the day, if you get obsessed with strikeouts, the odds are you're going to work up your count. You can be a lot more efficient doing pretty much what he's done.
No, exactly. And the thing is, when you get to the big league level, in most cases, the defense behind you is pretty good. You're going to have high-quality athletes who can make a lot of plays. And then, yes, I mean, missing bats, if you miss bats, they can't do any damage. They can't put the ball in place. That's still going to be the priority. But you can't be afraid to throw a strike. I mean, how about that? 7-pitch inning for Luis De Leon.
Ends it on a strikeout, and we stay tied halfway home.
When choosing the right gear to cut, trim, or mow your yard, Ace has all the power you need to get the job done right. Because gas or battery, your local Ace is the destination with the best power brands all under one roof, like Steel, Ego, Milwaukee, and Toro. And with free assembly and delivery or ready for pickup in 15 minutes. Conquering your outdoor projects has never been easier. Around the block, what you need in stock, with service so good it's guaranteed.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
There's coffee. And then there's coffee. Make it extra with Bailey's.
This is the one. She fixes, she manages, she perfects. Because maintaining this space transports her to this space. The industrial grade product you need. Call, click, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It all starts here, where baseball's next masterpiece comes to life.
Another historic chapter. This is what you've been waiting for. Aaron Judge, Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt Jr., Shohei Ohtani.
It's time to unleash the colors of the 2025 season on baseball's center stage, opening week on MLB Network.
Well, we have to take you back to the first edition of the Spring Breakout. This was a matchup that everybody wanted to see. A young Jackson Holliday and Paul Skeens facing off right up the road in Bradenton. Skeens brought the absolute heat. But what I loved about this, Jim, is this is why some of these guys are top prospects, because Holliday said afterwards, I was actually fascinated studying how his pitches were tunneling on me and why I missed in the moment while I was at the plate.
No, and Jackson, I know he didn't have the awesome rookie year that people thought, that everybody thought he was going to have, but like it's that type of mentality. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be a star. But that at bat was unfair. Like people, if you hadn't seen Paul Skeens before that, 102, 101, and then he strikes him out on a 92-mile-an-hour breaking ball that backs over the corner of the plate.
And it looks like it's 20 miles
and
slower.
then kind of nods to himself as he struts off the mound.
So a wonderful night for Carlos LaGrange as he'll exit 4 innings of work, 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts. Judd Fabian, the right fielder, gets his second at-bat, this time against Ben Hess. Fabian on the ground. Nice sliding stop for Rodriguez, and it skips across just in time.
And that's an unbelievable play by Rodriguez, who is not known for his glove. I mean, and Fabian can get down the line pretty quick. I mean, it helps when he smokes it to you. It gives you a little extra time. But that was a, reaction play, smooth slide, one-hop throw. Very nice play by Jesus Rodriguez.
So we'll bring up Griff O'Farrell for Ben Hess out of Alabama last year.
First-round pick of the Yankees last year, and I mean, he's going to show you why. I mean, he can 92, 96 with the fastball, up to 99 with some arm side run. It's got flat approach angle. He's got a lot of extensions. That ball gets you on you quick. He's got a traditional curveball. It's a very good pitch, and he'll also mix in a slider and changeup.
O'Farrell on the ground, this time to Lombard to first. And another ground out. We mentioned it. Carlos LaGrange, the righty, really has a lot to be proud of this evening. Again, finishing those 4 innings of work.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy who had more than a walk per inning last year when he was dealing with back problems. 4 very efficient innings, threw a ton of strikes, sat 98 to 101, threw some low 90s secondary stuff. If he keeps pitching like that, we'll see him in the Futures game in July.
Don't get too excited. 2 outs for Aaron Estrada. And a strike. And the only runs he gives up is a single E1 wild pitch and an inside the park home run. That's your strange line of spring.
Yeah, and again, it shows you the importance of speed, though. I mean, both Bradfield and Vance Honeycutt created runs with their speed. If Vance Honeycutt isn't an 80 runner, if Enrique Bradfield isn't an 80 runner, and Vance Honeycutt isn't a well above average runner, they don't score. The Orioles might be getting shut out right now.
Estrada, 2022 free agent, and set down. Another quick inning of work here for the Yankees. This time belongs to Ben Hess. A strikeout ends the 5th.
Verizon and AT&T announced price hikes a total of 10 times in the past 2 years. Families can switch to T-Mobile and get all the benefits of their plans while saving 20%. T-Mobile blows the competition away.
The 3 for Me, only at Chili's, serves up the Big Smasher Burger. Or you could settle for a drive-thru. Plus, get fries, a drink, and bottomless chips and salsa for just $10.99. See you later, tiny drive-thru burger. This Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game, knock it out the park, knock it out. You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game. The catch is thrown, not in time.
We all love the big moment. The big moment doesn't start with the big result. It starts with the yard work. Because the big moment is just one moment forged by 1,000 moments. Strauss and Major League Baseball. Gear up, go yard.
Insurify. At Insurify, we make it easy to cut your car insurance bill in half. Half? How? Just go to Insurify.com and compare dozens of quotes in a few clicks. We cut out the middleman so you can cut your bill in half. Go to Insurify.com and save up to 50% on your car insurance.
Let's take another look at tools on that 20 scouting scale. We're highlighting the best position player tools on both sides. I think the one we've definitely seen so far tonight, we've seen the 80 run on Enrique Bradfield. You can see 70 defender. You can also go 70 defense on Vance Honeycutt. Samuel Basayo's got a well above average arm. And you can see this is what makes him a special prospect. He's the best hitter and the best power hitter in this game for the Orioles. Quality in both regards. On the Yankees side, we talked a little bit about Spencer Jones's power. I do think George Lombard is going to continue to make strides as a hitter. And he's already one of the better defensive shortstops in the minor leagues.
How rare is that to see a young prospect have balanced tools?
Yeah, I mean, for a guy like Samuel Basayo, it's pretty rare that you're that good of a hitter that young. I mean, this is a guy who hit his way to AAA at age 19, and that does say a lot about his ability.
Yeah. So we've got Nestor Herman taking over, Luis De Leon. A very quick inning, a pair of groundouts and a strikeout.
Nestor Herman, if I remember the charts I helped put together correctly, I believe he has the best curveball of any Orioles prospect in this game. He'll sit around 92, 94 miles an hour with a fastball. Also probably the best strike thrower for the Orioles in this game.
First pitch swinging for T.J. Rumfield. He's drawn a walk and struck out so far. Herman, born in Seattle, at 6'3", the 11th round pick.
Those late round picks on the University of Seattle are pretty good. You know, Tarek Skubal also was the 9th rounder coming off Tommy John. So maybe that's a market inefficiency teams should start looking for. Yeah, here we go. Like I was just talking about, best curveball and best control for Nestor Herman, and he can mix the pitches. He's got a fastball 92, 94. He also has a slider and a splitter he can mix in. Yeah, so you're never quite sure what you're going to get from him. There's a curveball there a little bit high. Yeah, again, it's a solid curveball. We saw it on that last pitch. It's an overhand curve that's pretty effective. He has good feel for it. It gets swing and misses. He can usually land it for strikes, or he can bury it down the zone for chases.
This ball here, T.J. Rumfield out towards right center field, back at the wall, and a leaping play. Judd Fabian, take it away.
Well, we were talking about having 3 center fielders in the outfield and what that could do for you. I mean, there aren't a lot of your average right fielder does not get to that ball.
You've got to communicate who's going to get it, and there was no doubt for him. And right in front of an SMH billboard, and that's probably what Rumfield thought as he walked back off the field.
Very nice, very nice.
All right, a Brendan Jones ball one.
As I mentioned earlier, he's already really raised his profile since being a 12th round pick last year out of Kansas State. Speed's probably his best tool, and we saw that. He stole a base in the 4th inning. There's that curveball.
And for Jones, this kind of sounded, you almost want to dig deeper into the numbers, because reading through his stuff, especially at K-State, was one of the first Gold Glove finalists for their program in this current day and age. You would think someone has come through there before, but that also reminds you how tough it is to get those.
No, it is. And, he's interesting because he does a little bit of everything. He's got a good approach at the plate. It's more contact than power, but there's some sneaky pull pop in there. I did not know a whole lot about him. And I do Kansas State's part of my draft territory. There he goes, base hit up the middle, nice piece of hitting on I think that was a slider. And he's really raised his profile. I'm curious to see how he does. First full professional season, he's a chance to maybe rise up. Yankees have a lot of their guys are more power over hit. They have these power hitters who compile a lot of strikeouts, and he's a guy who, with his all-around ability and his ability to put the bat on the ball, might be able to move pretty quickly.
Brando Maeo will get another chance here. His 3rd different pitcher faced of the evening. He struck out and flied out. Strike 1 from Herman.
I wonder if they'll pay a little closer attention to Jones at first base. He got a pretty good jump. Basayo did not really have much of a chance to throw him out when he stole in the 4th inning.
Being held closely, 0-1, smacked Left center, Bradfield and Honeycutt back. Bradfield backs up and he's got it.
The wind is blowing out to left, but we have not. A couple of these balls I've been like, uh-oh, like knowing how hard the wind was blowing, and they just aren't quite getting out of the park.
And we're not out in it because we're tucked in this booth. So initially when you and I were down there, it really felt like the wind was carrying, and it's still blowing. We can see that. The palm trees and the flag give it away, but you wonder if it's slowed down a little bit, if the humidity starts to pick up as the sun's going down and deadens things. Because I thought this was going to be a jet stream competition here.
When we were filming the Open before the game and we were down the first base line, the wind was blowing. You have much more hair than I do, Melanie, but the wind was blowing through our hair, and I know you kept having to try to keep it under control while we were doing our quick Open. That's the one time where we're aging and having less hair than I used to kind of helped me out a little bit.
You did a really good job keeping it out of your eyes. I'm proud of you.
I don't know if it could reach my eyes at this point.
Miguel Thurena, you see here those 8 home runs as a rookie last year, just 40 games. And a deadlock 2-2 tie here, although the Yankees have out-hit 4-2. Strike 2.
He's played catcher and first base. Like I said, they have all these offensive-minded catching prospects. He led the he ranked third in the Florida Complex League last year in slugging ops and with those 8 home runs. So the power is his signature tool. He's got solid arm strength, but a work in progress as a receiver and blocker.
2 outs, Herman looking to keep compiling these clean innings. And a 0 on the board there. A strikeout for Herman. Yankees go down as we head to the bottom of the 6th.
Give me a hot pink Cosmopolitan and some drama.
Give me a Kettle One soda with a twist.
Give me an early morning tea time and a Bloody Mary with Kettle One vodka.
Give me a cocktail with Kettle One vodka.
Why pay too much for cable TV when it costs less for Fubo? Get all the channels you want with all the entertainment you love for the price that cable can't beat. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
Can't get enough baseball? Get MLB Network today to stream up to 15 live out-of-market games a week, 24/7 access to MLB Network, and live radio for all 30 clubs. Stream MLB Network with MLB at Bat for $6.99 a month.
At MLBShop.com, you can get all the latest officially licensed merchandise for you and your family. But if you really want to level up your game, you can grab something for your dog walker, your Pilates instructor, your swim coach, your neighbor, your accountant, your gardener, your best friend, your bandmate, your boss, your kid's teacher, your mailman. Visit MLBShop.com and stock up on officially licensed on-field merchandise from your favorite teams.
The 2025 season is here. Catch a special morning edition of MLB Tonight for all the highlights and analysis as the Cubs and Dodgers kick off the regular season from Tokyo, Japan. Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern, only on MLB Network.
This event is so much fun, Melanie. I mean, you look at this graphic here, 69 of the top 100 prospects in baseball are going to appear in these games. And, I mean, you look at these tools guys here. I mean, Travis Bazzana, #1 pick in last year's draft, although he struck out against the switch pitcher, Angelo St. last night. Jack Caglione, massive power. Chandler Simpson, we saw that speed. He laid down a perfect bunt, ran wild on the bases in the first game of spring breakout. Carson Williams made some nice defensive plays. No real web gems, but he did hit a home run that game. Jacob Mizorowski, maybe my favorite pitcher in the minor leagues just from a stuff standpoint. Noah Schultz has an unhittable slider. You just go on and on. There's so many exciting tools. You know, we did not give Enrique Bradfield best speed, but we've seen his speed tonight on display as well. It's just such a fun event. You see so many of these guys, and you're going to see so many of them in the big leagues. It's some of them very soon and some a couple of years down the line.
It's to me, because we've talked about this, you and I have loved and adored the Fall League for a long time, and we talk about how many guys from the Fall League you end up seeing in the big leagues. This feels like an almost more condensed, hyper version. You know, it's one game for every team, but how often these are the next names that you're reading off of those big league scorecards?
And it's cool, too, because you see the guys who are close to the big leagues, you know, like a Samuel Basayo, but you also see guys like Killer Morphe or Carlos LaGrange, who barely pitched above rookie ball, And like they're not going to be in the big leagues this year, but we might see him 2 or 3 years down the road. Quality arms. I mean, here's Ben Hess, who was a first-round pick last year. And, Yankees fans, I would suspect that almost any Yankees fan who's either here in the ballpark, and there are a ton of fans in the ballpark, or watching this on TV, they probably haven't seen Ben Hess pitch before. And if they have, I doubt they've seen him in a Yankees uniform. And you're getting his, he's a guy who could be in the big leagues in a couple of years. You're getting a preview of coming attractions. It's just, there's so much talent here.
Appeal to third. Enrique Bradfield held his swing. So it's ball 2.
I was going to say, thinking about the tools, I find myself, we keep talking about Bradfield's speed. Like, I want him to get on. I want him to get on and see him,
you
try
want
to
to
steal
watch
bases.
It's a test kitchen.
It was the same way with Chandler Simpson in the first game, who's probably the fastest runner in the minors. Just you're rooting for him to get on, so then he can show you what he can do with the speed. So I may get my wish here. It's 3-0 with Bradfield.
I love it. It's a little SEC matchup. Again, Hess out of Alabama, the first of 13 college pitchers that the Yankees went on to pick. He works back in a strike.
We talked about how the Orioles like their college outfielders. The Yankees like their college pitchers.
They do, and it's interesting. And this is what we were really digging into, because they also mentioned how often they're trading that lower-level pitching talent to get the talent that ultimately shows up at the big leagues, as Bradfield underneath this one, tracking back towards the dugout and out of room, so it'll be a full count. But so you kind of think about it, they were planning for the future, whether it's, okay, Ben Hess is a future Yankee, or we're trading him to get that tool that we ultimately need. Now, what's interesting for Hess, too, is ERA was a little higher at Alabama, but owns the Alabama strikeouts per 9 at 13.34.
Yeah, and the Yankees do a great job of helping guys maximize their breaking stuff, getting the most out of their potential, and I think they felt like there were some inefficiencies that they could maybe help correct.
A little bite back off of Hess here. He tried to recover, and ultimately it fell apart. You wanted the speed, Jim.
Well, we saw it right there. We saw it right there because, again, he knew, like, they probably faced each other in the SEC. I suspect Alabama versus Vanderbilt. They overlapped a couple years. But he knows Enrique Bradfield can fly, so he's got to get to the ball and barehanded and pick it up right away. Like, he can't hesitate. He's got to make a perfect play to throw him out. There was no margin for error there.
And it gets in your head whether you want to or not. Still young. You're trying not to overplay it, and sometimes that's what can happen. You let the game speed up on you. So they're all going to check on him, make sure everything's good here. But let's take another look back at this, because, again, no hesitation. And it's amazing because even you'll usually watch a runner, and if they break their head to look at where the action is, you'll watch that speed just take a tick off.
Yeah.
Not the case.
No. Exactly. I mean, like we talked about before, just, whether it's running out of the box or on the bases or in the outfield, it's not just pure speed. Like, look, there's some guys who are really fast, and they're always going to have range, and you can outrun your mistakes. But he maximizes his speed. He gets good jumps at first base or second base when he's stealing. He knows the art of stealing. He makes very good reads and takes very good routes in the outfield. He doesn't just rely on, hey, I can outrun most balls, but he knows how to use it. It's the instincts to go with that speed are what make him special.
So we'll see. They've got Hess going through the motions right now, throwing in front of the training staff. He says he's fine. And he's bigger built. That's that pitching frame you like to see. He's a little more sturdy. He can shake it off. And he's already been in some nerve-wracking situations so far this spring. They've thrown him out in some of the big league guys. He's talked about facing Aaron Judge. Struck him out, by the way. If we're going to keep up with the resume here.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's good stuff. And you can't just sit on the fastball because it's one of the better curveballs you'll see.
Checks on Bradfield. Probably took notes on how that went earlier. So Samuel Basayo with another chance here. He has launched some moonshots in these early weeks. Bradfield takes off. The pitch comes home. No chance.
And again, I think it's that you almost feel like you have to be perfect to throw him out.
Yes.
And so you're trying to get the ball out of the glove, and he forgot to hold on to it. So he got a pretty good jump, too. I don't know if he would have thrown him out even if he'd come up with a clean way. And you got to be careful. I mean, the thing is, he's not just a guy to steal second. Like, if you don't pay attention to him, he will steal third.
Is he a guy you see in the future? There's only so many of them, and there's not even one on every team who he gets to call his own green light.
Probably, yeah, because again, it's not just pure speed. Like, he knows how to use it. So, yeah, I think he's the type of guy who, once he establishes himself, and it probably happens pretty quickly in the big leagues, that he knows what he's doing on the bases, that he will get that green light. Like, it'll be one of those deals where you get the red light. You go unless we tell you not to. You can go whenever you want. And then just, all the worrying you have to spend about whether now he's going to steal third base. You're facing one of the best hitters anywhere in the minor leagues, and you're distracted a little bit by Bradfield. That doesn't help.
And that's why you like them 1 and 2 in this lineup. Basayo offers up for strike one, and again, you'll also see Lombard Jr. is not going to be too far away.
Yep. And try to hold him close, which again, if he winds up shooting the ball the other way, it might lead to a base hit.
Tried it there, and a foul ball, go 2 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, Basayo, like I said, one of the best hitters you're going to see in the minor leagues. Got to AAA at age 19 last year, and he kind of does everything you want a hitter to do. He sees the ball well. He makes good swing decisions. He makes a lot of contact, and he's got a ton of power. I mean, there's no real obvious weakness with him. Like I said, I mean, the arm, as we noted on that scouting report, is also very strong. It's just a matter of polishing up the receiving and blocking. There goes Bradfield.
Basayo goes the other way. Coming in is Arias to first. But again, they'll advance the runner 90 feet from home.
It's funny. I mean, you even saw Arias. I mean, it was a pretty routine play. But you even saw him. He took a look at Bradfield, because Bradfield took a big turnaround. Didn't slow down, around at third pretty hard. He had to check for a second and make sure. Like, he's just a distraction for everybody. And again, with him on third, has that good curveball, but like, are you a little bit less reluctant to try to bury it in the dirt when you know Bradfield's going to score on any ball that gets away from your catcher?
2 outs for Dylan Beavers, trying to break up this tie as he fouls this one back. And what I love is, over at third base, Elvis Morel, the coach, he just laughs. Welcome over. We know you don't have to catch your breath. So very routine play there for the Yankees defense.
But there just aren't too many plays where the second baseman's going to take a glance to check the runner going from second to third to make sure he's not going through.
Beavers sneaks it through. Home comes Bradfield, walking almost this time. And the Orioles have their first lead of the evening, 3-2, an RBI single for Beavers. Ground out, fly out, and he figured it out.
Well, I mean, you talked about how in the first inning Bradfield manufactured his own run. He singled, went to third on it after forcing an errant pickoff throw and scored on a wild pitch. And here, he hits the ball, about 60 feet back to the mound. Beats it out when it goes off Hess. Steals second. Goes to third on a ground out and comes home on a run.
And now Beavers going. The throw comes in low and no play. More running here for the Baby Birds.
Yeah, Beavers is a good athlete, too. The fun thing about these games is, because they're showcases, you talked about players having the green light. I think for the most part, the players are told, hey, show what you can do. And like Beavers felt like he could steal the base. You can't take, maybe Ben Hess breathes a sigh of relief. You don't have to worry about Bradfield anymore. Then Beavers is on second base almost immediately.
Not so fast. So strike to Vance Honeycutt, 0-2, but you take another look here at Beavers. And a long, lanky body, a slightly awkward slide in there, but he's
kept
got
his foot
enough
on the
space
bag.
to get
like
it.
The tag was on the bag, but he didn't come off the bag like we saw earlier in the game with the Yankees.
Swatted foul. Count stays 0-2 for Honeycutt. Beavers, that 6th overall prospect for the Orioles, did have 31 stolen bases, went on to be an Eastern League Player of the Week back in August.
Yeah, he's got solid speed. So much of base stealing isn't necessarily just I mean, again, when you're Enrique Bradfield, it's a little different because you can outrun most of them. But for a lot of the guys who steal bases, it's as much savvy as it is speed.
Mm-hmm. And we've heard it's either honing that baseball IQ to trust yourself or making sure you are eyes up and communicating, because those base coaches are there for that reason of producing change on the path. Just misses there to Honeycutt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
There's that good curveball again, and that's a good take for Honeycutt. We talked about. I mean, that's the only thing. I mean, it's pretty simple. If Vance Honeycutt can cut down the strikeouts, he could be a star, and he didn't chase, and that was a curveball that was that's one of his weaknesses, and he laid off that one.
Well high from Hess. Honeycutt will see a 7th pitch. Honeycutt just 13 games last season, and now Hess will step off. So where we had seen a lot of 3 up, 3 down, allowing 1 base runner and putting it to rest, Orioles manufacturing here later into the game as a foul ball. And he'll force another. Nice little souvenir for a young man downstairs.
I do think if I'm Hess here, I try to. My curveball's so good. Honeycutt does chase. I think I try to bury a curve and see if he goes fishing for it.
I like it. Call it. Runner at second and 2 outs. Trying to keep it a 1-run game. Hess. And that's high. Ball 4. We'll have a mound visit here now for the Yankees as he draws everybody in. So starting to work here, 31 pitches so far. We're kind of seeing those ranges between 30 and 40, depending on where guys are at tonight, how taxing innings have been for them. And right now, you're in the middle. You just had a battle. Just stop the game for a minute. Let his brain reset. So he's got a pair on, just looking for that final out here in the 6th. For the Yankees, they do have a righty up in their bullpen. We're on day 3 of the spring breakout, the 2nd year that we've been able to bring this back. And just a fun time. These guys love any chance they can get to be televised. They get to talk about their personalities. I'm sure there's bragging rights as well. Now they've got branded caps that say, I went to the game.
And you get to play against, this game especially with all the Vanderbilt guys, but there seems like there's connections in all these games. And again, I mean, you and I both talked to a number of players in these games, and players are excited. It's only year 2. Everybody knows what spring breakout is. Everybody wants to be part of spring breakout, and it's a blast. I can't wait to see how much bigger and better this event can continue to grow.
So they've got Eric Reiselman, it looks like, up in the bullpen. Former LSU Tigers, a strike into Ethan Anderson.
Anderson's interesting. I'll be curious to see how much he plays at catcher. For the Orioles, he's a catcher first baseman. His first 2 years at Virginia in college, he was blocked by Kyle Teal. Went on to be a first-round pick of the Red Sox, and then went to the White Sox in the Garrett Crochet trade. And he's more of an offensive guy than a polished defensive catcher. But if he could catch, obviously that really enhances the value. He's a switch hitter, more power from the left side, more of a line drive guy from the right side. Good approach, good on base skills. But if you could make him into maybe, even if you make him a fringy defender behind the plate, maybe he's that offensive-minded backup, or in this organization, you're going to have Rutschman and Basayo. He could be a third catcher. That's a pretty nice third catcher to have.
Well, the offers up here. So Hess, after a little bit of trouble, puts an end to the inning with a strikeout, but the Orioles take a 3-2 lead into the 7th.
Dreams begin here. Welcome to the Good Night Club.
Compare agents on Realtor.com and sell faster for the best price while the market is hot this spring. In a tap, get proposals from local agents who know your area and can get you the best value. Try it now, only at Realtor.com, the #1 site real estate professionals trust.
The 3 for Me, only at Chili's, serves up bottomless chips and salsa, a drink, and the delicious Big Smasher Burger with twice the beef of a Big Mac. Maybe they should change that name. This Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game, knock it out the park, knock it out. You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game. The catcher throws, not in time.
More baseball, more action. Sunday on MLB Network at 6 a.m. Eastern, it's the Cubs and the Yomiuri Giants in an international exhibition game from Tokyo. Then it's a doubleheader of prospect action starting at 4 p.m. Eastern as the Spring Breakout Series continues.
And you take a look here, we've talked about this, just amazing, amazing how it is to have so much top talent that you get a chance to familiarize yourself with before, again, they get on that big league lineup, but it's not too far away. One of those that we are looking forward to seeing here very, very soon is none other than Enrique Bradfield Jr., and he's with us now. Enrique, you've got Melanie Newman and Jim Callis with you. You have been all smiles, and rightly so this evening, but how much of that is fueled by this dinner bet?
Oh, it's a good one. You know, my mind hasn't been on it. I've kind of been focused on the smaller things in the game, but going into it, I'm trying to have as much fun as I can with this group out here. We got a great group of guys, and we're playing a great team over there, so it's been a lot of fun tonight.
Hey, Enrique, Jim Callis here. I just want to ask you, you talked about how much fun this is. You know, you're a guy, obviously, everybody's known about your speed for a long time, but I mean, how fun is it to be able, you get the opportunity to showcase it in the game. You know, first inning, single, you force an errant pickoff throw, score on a wild pitch. Last inning, infield hit, stolen base. I mean, not only do you get to play in this game, but you're showing everybody what you can do.
That's the game I play. You know, it's a lot of fun to go out there. It's a lot of energy. It can change games. So I'm looking forward to being able to show that and continue to keep climbing the ladder and be a part of this organization.
He just mentioned when you're creating your own runs. What is going through your mind? Ultimately, like they make that pickoff move at you at first base. No doubt that is not the first time that one has gotten away. So those split seconds when you're deciding to take off, just take us inside your brain.
It's simple. It's very simple. You know, I want to be as aggressive as I can be. That's what I'm out there to do. I want to make them make mistakes. So to be able to force them to make mistakes and create runs for the team, as long as I'm stepping on home, no matter how it gets done, that's what I'm looking forward to do.
And we're showing a replay here of you scoring on the wild pitch and going from first to third. I mean, it's not just pure speed, I think, that impresses me when I watch you, Enrique. It's you know how to use it. Like on the errant pickoff throw, it looked like you picked up the ball quickly and you were immediately thinking, I'm taking third base on this. There was no hesitation.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just a lot of experience and a lot of practice. I picked up the ball before I even got up, so knowing where that was, there was no doubt in my mind that I was going to reach third base and get into scoring position.
How much have you realized you've learned? Tim Corbin really sets guys up for success, but what have you found in that meantime, especially this year at another spring training where you've had so much exposure?
Oh, it's been great. You know, just to be able to take the days for what the days are, grasp the experiences, be around the group. I got a chance to be a part of big league camp earlier this spring, and that was a whole new great experience for me, and I was able to take that in and try and learn as much as I can. You know, I'm learning every day, and that's going to continue no matter how long I keep playing this game for the next 15, 20 years. So as long as I can stay positive, keep learning, and move forward, the sky's going to be the limit for me.
Enrique, you know, talking about speed, I want to give a couple of your teammates some love. How exciting is it to watch Vance Honeycutt fly around the bases on inside park home run, and then right field we see Judd Fabian making a pretty tremendous play. I mean, everybody's showing speed tonight.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. You know, I'm happy for Vance to be able to get that one. That was a good one. It was a lot of fun for us in the dugout here to be able to watch that and being out there with Judd. Judd's a great defender. You know, obviously we have a lot of history playing against each other at Florida, but watching him every day and the focus and the effort that he puts into his game is definitely, it needs to be recognized, and he needs to get props for it. He's a hell of a player, and when he gets the opportunity at the big league level, he's going to shine.
Have any of them challenged you to a foot race yet?
No. Usually the younger Latins want to race me. They all think they can get me, and every time we're working on some speed and doing some of that work, they kind of line up right next to me. But, you know, I'll take my wins as they come, whoever wants to race.
I want to ask you about a former Vanderbilt teammate, Patrick Riley. Pretty nice outing tonight for you guys.
Yeah, he's standing right next to me right here.
There
That's
you go.
My guy. So, you know, I'm happy that he got traded back to us over here and being able to be teammates once again. We went into Vandy together and we saw the growth that we had, and, you know, watching him do his thing tonight was amazing. He's got better every day. His discipline, his habits, his work ethic, that is all a product of his game right here, and his just focus as a person. He's a great kid, and I can't be more proud of him.
Spencer Jones puts one out. And the defensive change here. Thomas Sosa's in, loses it in the lights. Yankees go running. They'll get runners at second and third. An absolutely spiraling ball here for Jones, and Sosa can't find it. So Lombard Jr. barrels down. He's 90 feet from home, and just a tough one here. I mean, Enrique, could you see that from your angle? What's that like?
It's a tough ball. You know, when you have a guy as big as Spencer and as strong as him, he's going to hit those towering fly balls. You know, he hit me one down the line earlier in the day. That was a little tough for me to gauge, but you know, you got to stay composed, and you know, it's a tough sky right now. It's pretty gray, so I can't imagine how hard it is out there to be able to try and bring that one in.
Were you hoping to get an at-bat against Bryce Cunningham or Grayson Carter today?
Yeah, I was hoping to be able to see them. You know, I want to be able to see them, and you know, I'll get a chance to be able to watch Bryce go in there, and hopefully get a chance to see G-Cart in there. And just do their thing. You know, I'm incredibly proud of those guys. They've come a long way from the time we started at Vanderbilt. I think I played 2 years with those guys, and watching them grow and get to where they are, that's a testament to their hard work and their dedication to their craft.
Enrique, you said you're looking at a 15 to 20 year career here, and no doubt since you arrived at Oriole Park, you have been so well spoken and executed in your plans. What are your overall plans for yourself in your career?
Oh, I want to be one of the best players to ever play this game. I want to be one of the best center fielders to ever play this game, one of the fastest players, one of the most exciting players. So I have big plans for myself, and you know, God is right there with me the entire way. I have a great family, great support system, and this organization believes in me, you know, and I believe in myself ultimately. I know what I'm capable of, and it's only going to be a test of time before the world sees it.
Well, the world saw you flash some 80 grade speed tonight. Again, really impressive to watch you. Second spring breakout for you. Enrique, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're going to let you get back to Patrick and the rest of the boys here and enjoy this one.
Thank you, guys. It was great talking to you.
Thank you. And this Enrique Bradfield Jr.
He's going to be coming for my job. He's going to be doing color on like spring breakout. If he plays 15 or 20 years, spring breakout 2045, and Enrique Bradfield will be doing color.
We're going to have you make a new ETA list of
broadcast.
That line. Yes. It's really, you know, it's amazing because I don't know if you feel this way. I feel like they get younger every year at the big league level, at the professional level. You talked about Basayo being 19 at AAA, Jackson Holliday coming up as he's barely 20 in the big leagues. And yet when they come up, there's a strikeout there for Chase Alsop. They're so well-spoken. And you look at some of these names, again, we're going to throw it back here, just how many come out of Vanderbilt, and we know the media exposure that the SEC gets, but what a good head on so many shoulders down there on that field.
No, it really is. And, you know, you again, look at this Vandy connection. You know, Enrique started with his speed. Patrick O'Reilly pitched 2 good innings. Spencer Jones just got that double that was lost in the lights, and we may see a couple of Vanderbilt pitchers pitch later in this game. Enrique's always been like that, too, even before he got to Vanderbilt. I remember talking to him at the first year they did the Prospect Development Pipeline League, PDP League in 2019 in Bradenton, Florida, so not too far from here, actually, and talking to him when he was a rising high school senior, and same personality, like same personality, well-spoken, understood the game, joy to talk to, which I can't believe that was 6 years ago.
That's not accurate. There's some black hole of time for the last 5 years that it doesn't exist. It's absolutely sped up. So we've got Chase Alsop here again, his first inning of work, and a walk issued to George Lombard Jr. For you just mentioned it, that double for Spencer Jones, trying to keep the Orioles on top, a 3-2 lead. Jesus Rodriguez, a little bouncer, back up the middle, and the best play here is to go short to first. Brings home the tying run in George Lombard, and we're even at 3.
That's the second RBI of the day for Jesus Rodriguez. And, yeah, I mean, that was a smart play there. I mean, they were playing in, trying to cut off the run, but they weren't going to be able to. That ball wasn't hit hard enough. You get the out, and you get out of there.
So for Alsop, still looking to get his feet wet in actual minor league baseball. 11 starts, 2 additional appearances with the Auburn Tigers. before his name was ultimately signed. As this one straight up and back and playing back in front of the net goes Creed Willems with the catch. There's your battery mate backing you up. They put this one to an end, but not before the Yankees tie it up at the stretch.
Sadly, windshield chips can turn into windshield cracks. But at least you can go to SafeLight.com and schedule a fix in minutes.
Sweet.
SafeLight can come to you for free. And our highly trained techs can replace your windshield right at your home.
SafeLight, SafeLight.
Don't wait. Go to SafeLight.com and schedule now.
SafeLight repair, SafeLight replace.
This is the one who helps everyone stay safe. An unsung hero in a building full of everyday heroes is just how he likes it. The industrial-grade products you need. Call, click, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With Rao's made-for-home brick oven crust pizza, delicious is finally in the frozen pizza aisle. We start with Rao's iconic sauce, then pile on all the best toppings, so your backup plan becomes a night you plan for. In pizza, we crust.
It all starts here, where baseball's next masterpiece comes to life.
Another historic chapter. This is what you've been waiting for. Aaron Judge, Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt Jr., Shohei Ohtani.
It's time to unleash the colors of the 2025 season on baseball's center stage, opening week on MLB Network.
Spencer Jones has been hard to miss, a name so often talked about for Yankees prospects. In the first spring breakout game last year at the Yankees spring home park, he showed you exactly why.
No, I mean, I think he had the most impressive offensive performance of everybody last year. I want to say he and Xavier Isaac, the Rays, were the only two guys who had multiple homer games in the first spring breakout. And this year, maybe not as fun early on. Got hit by pitches 99 and 96 miles an hour, although he took them both, I think, on the protective guard.
Yeah.
So that was nice. But, you know, hit a ball that got lost in the lights, and it, you know, led to a double and tying run, and we're tied up after 6.5 innings here.
Well, the SEC thematics here continue. Ben Hess has done 2 innings of work, does give up a run, 3 strikeouts for him. Spencer Jones is now left to be pacing in that Yankees dugout. Eric Raiselman, the LSU Tiger, will take over. Right-handed pitcher comes in at the 23rd overall ranking in 2022.
I think we could see him in the big leagues this year, Melanie. He's a guy who didn't get to pitch barely his first couple of years as a pro. He got drafted in 2022. He had assist on his back. He had 3 different operations. Look at these crazy numbers on there. 63-19 strikeout to walk ratio, 1.16 ERA, 41% strikeout rate. You know, it's a mid-90s fastball. It touches 99 with riding action on it. It's a good carry. He's got a tight low 80s slider with significant horizontal break. Works against lefties and righties, and he also has a changeup that's got similar velocity and moves in the opposite direction of his slider. So he is tough. Went off speed with that first pitch. But yeah, I mean, fastball and slider, those are both power pitches.
So he gets ready for Judd Fabian, who gets another at-bat here, and it's wide, ball 2.
Yeah, interesting. He went, it looks like those are, I don't know if that's a curveball, because usually his slider is a little bit quicker than that. Maybe that was the slider. Maybe he's not throwing quite as hard, but he started off Judd Fabian with 2 breaking balls. Let's see if he can go mid-90s here with a fastball. 95. And, you know, so maybe his velocity is maybe a tick down from what he usually is, but he really excited the Yankees when he finally got healthy last year. And this is a guy I think they believe can pitch in their bullpen in the second half of the season.
So you highlight, underline, bold his name in your scorebook tonight. He's behind here to Fabian, 3-1. Fabian so far struck out and ground out this evening.
And it was interesting, when he was at LSU, he had trouble throwing his secondary pitches for strikes, so he threw 94% fastballs in his draft year. They were basically just throw the fastball, and he had success. He had success, it made him a 3rd-round pick, throwing almost all fastballs. The Yankees have helped him improve the slider and tighten it up, and you know, now he's more of a 2-pitch pitcher. It all comes down to kind of keeping his delivery in sync. He's a bigger guy, got to keep everything, you know, kind of, you know, working well in check. And if he does that, the stuff definitely plays. Now he's up to 97, so maybe he's adding some velocity.
Feeling a little more comfortable pitch per pitch here. What that also tells you, though, is that he's got good movement with that fastball. We talk about the rise and the sink. You're not throwing a flat fastball that often and finding success, as he's a little too high with that pitch here to Fabian. You talked about the bullpen, though, Jim, and a good chance, because it's been a tough spring for New York.
Yeah, no, I mean, you look at all these Yankees pitchers and, a couple hitters on there as well who are down. And, with the pitchers, it seems like you never have enough pitchers. Like even if you feel like you have enough, you're going to need more. And that's why they're as excited as they are about Raiselman. You talked about, the fastball playing with the life, too. He's got, even though he's a big guy, he creates this flat approach angle with his 3/4 arm slot. And so the ball just carries right through the top of the strike zone.
And a reminder here as we get later into this game, massive changes across the board for both of these teams. Starts on defense, and now they're going to start filtering out into the lineup as well. So that's ball 2.
Yeah, if you're on the roster for one of these games, they generally try to get, we won't necessarily see all the pitchers because they have some emergency pitchers just in case, but they try to get all the hitters at least one at-bat.
This will be Austin Overn in Griff O'Farrell's spot. Now ahead 3 balls.
I do think it should be a mandatory rule because I've already messed up my scorecard, Melanie. The guy should go in when you're making massive changes. If you're going in for the shortstop, you should go into his spot in the batting order.
I agree.
My scorecard is a shambles now.
Do you want mine?
Between innings, I'll clean mine up.
Raiselman delivers a strike to Overn and back into the count 3-1. So Overn came in as the center field substitute for Vance Honeycutt in the top of the inning. And Raiselman forces a full count. They'll continue to roll. Thomas Sosa is on deck after he took over for the guy we just chatted with, Enrique Bradfield Jr. But as you mentioned it, Sosa is going to be batting in Estrada's spot.
I'm going to have to listen to you because I foolishly tried to put guys in for the positions they subbed in for, and that was a mistake.
Everybody goes everywhere. There's Sosa. He'll be looking for a little redemption. Again, they ultimately get out of it, just the 1 run given up, but had a tough play out in left field on that the Spencer Jones double. They'll feign a check over to first. Fabian scampers back. Three-two. Hooper out behind shortstop, now getting called off by 3 different members of the Yankees, and go figure, it's the left fielder to come up with it instead. Cole Gabrielson with that one.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to work. I mean, that play's in front of him, and he can come straight in rather than having to slice over at an angle. So he correctly called off the infielders and made the play.
So welcome, taking over for Brando Maella, and here's your first challenge.
Well, now we have Thomas Sosa coming up. As you mentioned, he lost that ball in the lights, got played into a double for Spencer Jones that allowed the Yankees to tie the game. But the Orioles are excited about him. I mean, you can look at him. He looks pretty big at the plate. He's listed at 6'3", 160. I'm going to say he weighs more than 160. I think that's his weight when they signed him in 2022 out of the Dominican Republic. A lot of times, the international guys don't get their vital statistics updated. He's definitely more than 160, but there's still room to add strength on there, and he's got bat speed, he's got leverage, produces very high exit velocities for his age. He just turned 20 a couple months ago. He'll be 20 all season. So very intriguing young power hitter for the Orioles.
1-1 and runner goes. Fabian trying to get in under the tag, and he doesn't. Yankees finally get a runner here. Heads up play.
That's Edgeline Perez behind the plate now, and big jump by Fabian, and he put that throw right on the bag. Like it's basically through the glove. Pretty close play. Again, you wonder if there was instant replay. If somebody would definitely be checking that real quick to see if they wanted to challenge, but perfect throw.
So now it's bases cleared, 2 outs. And you mentioned replay, a lot of Yankees clamoring right there. They wanted another look at that pitch. That's not going to happen.
Can't tap on the head and get the challenge. That was 99, by the way. He is throwing harder as this innings progressed.
2 outs and nobody on. We are tied again, and now time called here for Perez. That's what's amazing, though, is I still remember watching minor leaguers adjust to there being a clock. And now these guys, we've seen it. They've popped up looking for the replay. They're looking for the challenge. They're growing up so adjusted to all of these different changes that the league has made over the years.
When they put the clock in at the major league level, you and I have done Arizona Fall League, and one of the things they do in the Arizona Fall League, besides develop prospects, is they test things out. They tested instant replay there. They tested the clock. They've tested the ball strike automated challenge system. They've testimated. They tested me. I don't know what I'm saying here. They tested.
It's a good combination.
Yeah, they tested and automated. They tested the system where they're calling every pitch with the technology. But you and I have seen this, saw the pitch clock in the Fall League, and it would take guys like a week to adjust to it. Guys who hadn't seen it, after a week they had it down, and you saw almost no violations. And yeah, I mean, people are getting used to these changes, and their second nature after only a couple of years.
Absolutely incredible. So after the second walk allowed there, again, he took care of Judd Fabian as he was ultimately removed off the base paths, but another mound visit for the Yankees. He only had 23 pitches, so still doing okay. It's his first inning of work, but again, they do keep track of all of this. You just really, I'm horrible at lip reading, but the body language here is just kind of, again, let's stop the game for a minute. Let me get into your brain space a little bit. Let me remind you exactly who you are and what we're about to do as we attack this next batter.
Yeah, I mean, if Eric Raiselman, with the fastball and slider that he has, if he just throws strikes, he's fine. And I think they're just remind him, look, there's 2 outs. You just need 1 more out here. You know, tackle the inner areas with your best stuff, and you should be able to get out of this.
Arias, the switch hitter, first pitch swinging, and another loop that beats the infield here. Runners will advance. A leadoff single, his first at-bat of the evening. It'll put the go-ahead run in scoring position as the lineup flips back over.
I do have my lineup all fixed now, so I know this is DJ Layton batting in Enrique Bradfield's spot now. I'm ready for DJ Layton. He was a 6th-round pick, North Carolina high school product last year. Only high school player they took in the first 10. It's Creed Williams. So I was misled by Game Day, which had DJ Layton in the leadoff spot. So yes,
we will very fairly blame Game Day here. 2 outs for the very large Williams as he fouls this one back. 0-1. He's fascinating to watch. He's got so much personality. Look at the hair.
Yeah.
I mean, just.
Well, yeah, DJ Layton 6'1", 185. Creed Williams 5'11", 225. So they don't really look alike. I did get to see a lot of Creed in Arizona Fall League this past offseason. He really opened some eyes. The defense still needs work. He has a very strong arm. It's only maybe a shade behind Basayo's. But his defense was better than people thought it would be. And he's known most offensively for his power. You can look at him, he looks like a power hitter. But people were impressed with his approach at the plate, too. So he's a guy who really, I think, made an even bigger name for himself in the Fall League.
2 outs and 2 on for Williams. And Raiselman just misses at the bottom of the zone. The closer these two stay, just absolutely lockstep with each other here. And the crowd get a little rowdy. The dugouts are into it. Inside. Deuces wild, the pitch. Swung on and missed. Raiselman wins out the battle, works into a little bit of traffic, but strikes out Williams, tied at 3 through 7.
ACE's new Yard RX program prescribes the best lawn care, specific to your yard's needs, delivered every season. Because when you want greener grass, less weeds, and fewer bugs, now you can get a personal prescription delivered to you from the helpful folks at ACE. you'll get everything you need at our best price each season, guaranteed. From our store to your front door, with service so good it's guaranteed.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
If you're looking for the one, find the home with a short commute to work. Find the one in a great school district. And find it exclusively in professionally sourced listings. Download the Realtor.com app today.
Do you want your car to have deep gloss, stay cleaner longer, and have it last for up to 50 washes, guaranteed?
Introducing Cerakote's new Rapid Ceramic Platinum. Our next generation paint sealant with improved gloss, unmatched slickness, and extreme water repellency. Simply spray it on and lightly buff to get long-lasting professional results. Just look at the difference. Water just blows right off. You can trust Cerakote's #1 selling products with over 60,000 5-star reviews. Buy today for under $20.
Can't get enough baseball? Get MLB Network today to stream up to 15 live out-of-market games a week and 24/7 access to MLB Network's award-winning shows. Start streaming MLB Network for just $5.99 a month.
It's not just the top that stays competitive. You talk about the AL East all the time at the big league level. That continues through the farm system. You're starting to see some of those churn a little bit who has the top, as now, of course, Baltimore has graduated a lot. Back comes Tampa Bay and Boston.
Yeah, Tampa Bay and Boston have two of the top 3 farm systems in baseball. You see here they have 4 of the top 12 prospects in the game, 4 of the top prospects in all of spring breakout. And it was great doing that Rays-Red Sox game the other night. Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell, Marcelo Meyer, and Carson Williams, the guys you saw at the top of that list, they all hit home runs.
And I said it felt scripted.
Yeah, exactly. And Carson Williams said after the game this was MLB's dream.
I love it. He's already marketing himself. Josh Moylan faces Braxton Bragg. First pitch swinging and a ground ball through the left side. A leadoff single for Moylan. You mentioned those home runs, and they're too good, so let's watch.
Here's Christian Campbell going the other way to right center. Good carry. Marcelo Meyer's ball just going to backspin and keep going down the line. But watch this Roman Anthony shot. This landed on top of that office building out there in right field. That was estimated, I think, at 435 feet. And I'm not StatCast, but that felt a little bit light to me.
Those are those nights, if they don't fall asleep with a smile on their face, what else are you going to do?
No, exactly. And they all had, the 3 Red Sox guys are all very close, Campbell and Meyer and Anthony, and they were smiles before the game and cheering each other on. Like I said, I mean, the players are really enjoying this event too. Like, everybody's having a great time, getting to show what you can do on national television. All these games, I believe 7 of them, because one got rained out, are broadcast live on MLB Network. All of them are on all the MLB digital platforms, live and blackout free, so you could see all these guys. So it's, not only these guys showing people what they can do, it's available to everybody. All you need is some kind of internet connection, and you can watch these guys.
And you love that. You get up close and personal, and you get to know them. 2-2 here for Garrett Martin, who's in for Brendan Jones. And it was cool, too. You mentioned how close-knit they are. It hit storylines earlier this week. We've seen it before. The boys were sent on a coffee run. They had to pick up something like 76 coffees for different Red Sox players and personnel. And it was the trio that were actually joking. They said, we got one wrong. And it was Garrett Crochet, the opening day starter. And it's the one you can't get wrong, but
75 for 76 is pretty impressive. And I believe Alex Bregman tagged Roman Anthony with that duty, and these guys are all close, so he had Marcelo Meyer, like, he enlisted his insistence. But yeah, I mean, look at these guys. I mean, look how young they are. Christian Campbell, first full season in Pro Ball, gets up to AAA. Roman Anthony tore up AAA at age 20. Marcelo Meyer was a first-round pick, 4th overall in 2021. He was hurt at the end of last season. He actually got promoted to AAA, but wasn't healthy enough to play. You're going to see, I think Christian Campbell might make the opening day roster, and we're definitely going to see all 3 of those guys in the big league. It's 3 of the top 12 prospects in baseball, all in the same farm system.
It's exciting, and we've heard jabs have been going on. Usually it's those younger guys who make the road trips during spring training, especially in Florida, because some of them have been pretty far. And instead you're getting those visiting major league managers going, why did you bring the kids? Because they know how good they are and that power that's coming. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, all farm systems are cyclical. It is so hard to stay above that fray, because that means that you're taking in talent almost at the same time that you're graduating or trading it. And you just have to go through that. So to see them coming back up, it's going to be a fun time here. As Cole Gabrielson set down by Braxton Bragg, his first strikeout of the evening.
And we've seen what you were just talking about, Melanie, with the Orioles, who, for years when they were struggling, they were picking at the top of the draft. And they were also making good. It wasn't just because they were picking, the Adley Rutschmans and the Jackson Holidays and the Gunnar Hendersons up near the top of the draft. Gunnar Henderson was a second-round pick. But they also made some good later-round picks as well. But when you start to win, all of a sudden, instead of picking in the top 5 or even have the number 1 pick twice in 4 years, you're picking in the 20s, and your bonus pool's less, and you get a smaller international pool. And, we saw it last year. When they picked up Burns, they traded 2 prospects. Instead of acquiring prospects for veterans, you're trading prospects to get veterans. And you're right, it is cyclical, which is why I believe, if I remember correctly, the Orioles, I think, are now 15th after being number 1 for a couple years in a row at the top of our list. They're 15th, and it's the same people. They haven't gotten worse at their jobs. It's just like you said, it's a cycle. It's very hard. The only 2 teams that have maintained just dominance at player development while winning at the big league level were those Braves teams that won 14 or however many division titles was in a row. And the Dodgers are doing an excellent job of it now. Everybody looks at what they're spending at the big league level, and they're spending a lot. But they also invest a ton in research and player development and technology and are making players better. They do an excellent job of it. But other than those 2 teams, when you start to win year after year after year, in general, your farm system is going to take a natural downturn.
Well, a nice bounce back here for Braxton Bragg. Single walk and now back-to-back strikeouts of Cole Gabrielson and Jared Wegner. He'll flip the lineup back over, still managing some traffic here, but trying to keep it tied.
Well, he's bounced back after letting the first two runners getting a strikeout with a slider, and that one with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
This almost feels a little surprising to still see George Lombard Jr.
Well, you only have so many guys on your roster, and I did not. The Yankees have 4. They only have 5 infielders, 2 of which were first basemen. They subbed Vargas in for Arias, so I think we're going to get Lombard and Jesus Rodriguez the whole game, which I'm not complaining.
I was going to say, I know that's unfortunate for
I'll
you.
take extra at-bats for George Lombard.
Walked and scored his last time up as this outside from Bragg, ball 1.
Yeah, I was giving Enrique Bradfield credit and joking about how he's a future MLB Network broadcaster. I think if George Lombard wants that, like George Lombard was very impressive, George Lombard Jr., when we interviewed him early in the game.
This one back up, bounces off of the knees of Layton, tries to recover, does not get it in time, safe, and the bases are juiced for the Yankees.
I almost thought Layton should have just eaten that one. Like, that's one where you could throw it away and let the go-ahead run score. Wasn't able to make the play, tried to make a quick throw. I don't think he was going to throw Lombard out after he didn't come up with a clean one. Lombard's too quick out of the box. But he did make an accurate throw, so it kept the game tied for now.
Knocked it down, kept it in front of him, so he prevent the damage for now. Lombard loads the bases, his first hit of the evening. And it'll be Jackson Castillo. Take a look at his A-ball and high A numbers here, 268 and 812 OPS. And this one skips away up from Willems. They're going to go ahead and wave the runner home. Yankees take a 4-3 lead. So we have seen self-generated runs, a little bit of chaos tonight from both sides now.
No, the teams are both, taking advantage when they can on the base pass, looking to make things happen. That was just bounced it way in front of the plate. Did not get the fortunate bounce the Yankees got early in the game when it came straight back to the plate, and that was an easy opportunity for Josh Moylan to scamper home with the go-ahead run.
So it looks like each will get to bring home a run on a wild pitch this evening. It was Enrique in the first. And now Josh Moylan here in the 8th. 2-1, Castillo back towards second base, and again Layton is there. This time gets the out, and the inning draws to a close, but not before New York reclaims the lead.
the future on full display as the Spring Breakout Series continues on MLB Network. Get a first look at the game's top young talent as clubs' prized prospects go head-to-head. The Spring Breakout Series continues tonight on MLB Network. In full swing on MLB Network. Recap the day with MLB Tonight. Catch up on the day's news, highlights, and even hear from the players themselves.
I want to win a World Series. I want to do it in Kansas City.
MLB Tonight. Coverage continues through opening day.
Spring Breakout rolling on here, and so many go on to see their time in Major League Baseball. Now, really fortunate last year, 2 of the 3 Jacksons that ultimately stole so many headlines. Paul Skeens, who is already becoming a front runner for the 2025 Cy Young Award. James Woods, Dylan Cruz. I mean, we're just spoiled with how amazing some of these guys are.
No, I mean, and you look at the ages on them, it's crazy. I think Paul Skeens is the best pitcher in baseball right now. I mean, I take him over anybody. And I think you're going to look at James Wood. That guy could be a 30-30 guy pretty quick.
So we have got pitch clock violation here. It's going to automatically bump to an 0-1 count.
And I don't know if you've heard of this school in Nashville called Vanderbilt, Melanie.
We haven't really talked about it that much, but tell me about it, Jim.
Yeah, Bryce Cunningham came out of Vanderbilt. Yet another Commodore in this game. I believe it's the 4th Commodore to see action tonight. They still have another one, and he made quick work there. 97-mile-an-hour fastball to strike out my DJ Layton. But yeah, he was a second-round pick last year. He had some of the best pitch metrics in college baseball. Mid-90s fastball to 97. We just saw 97, and he works up in the zone with a lot of carry on it. He's got a very good changeup. It's a harder changeup, upper 80s, fades and sinks, and it's a tough pitch. Look at this. 3 pitches going to be 2 out. 4 pitches, 2 outs. We can't even get the scouting report in before he's almost done. And he also has a sweeping slider, and that's the pitch that the Yankees do a really good job at developing. So if they can improve the slider, he already has plus fastball, he has a plus changeup. If they can improve the slider, he might have 3+ pitches. This guy could be a frontline starter. I think he's going to move pretty quickly, and he's certainly working quickly tonight.
I was going to say, we've already seen Joshua Lorenzo and Jordan Sanchez retired as Michael Rodriguez digs in. I mean, I'll just let you take the inning at this rate. We're going to throw to break in 3, 2, 1. Cunningham, 1-0. Yeah, he was the 2nd pick after Ben Hess last year. 1-1, smacked out towards right field. Martin ranging, and he's got it. A very speedy inning for Cunningham to the 9th here in Sarasota.
Safe Light Repair. Safe Light Replace.
Nobody likes a cracked windshield. But at least you can go to SafeLight.com and schedule a fix in minutes.
Can confirm. Very easy.
SafeLight can come to you for free. And our highly trained techs can replace your windshield right at your home.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Go to SafeLight.com and schedule a replacement today.
Is your car's plastic trim faded and milky? Don't worry. Cerakote's ceramic trim coat restores oxidized trim effortlessly. Just wipe it on. It's guaranteed for 200 washes. Even dust won't stick to it. Keep your car looking professional. Selling your oxidized, faded trim car? Detailed cars sell for way more than faded cars. Read the thousands of 5-star reviews for yourself. Buy any of Cerakote's #1 selling ceramic products for under $20 at these leading retailers today.
Want the effects of Viagra, but faster? Meet Rose Sparks. They contain sildenafil and tadalafil, the active ingredients of Viagra and Cialis, but Sparks dissolve under the tongue. Dissolvables work faster than old school pills. Plus, tadalafil, the active ingredient in Cialis, stays in your system for long-lasting results. Faster acting and long-lasting? We got you. See if sparks are right for you at row.co/sparks.
Welcome back to Major League Baseball's Spring Breakout 2025, the second annual event. This one is night 3 of 4, and really fortunate this evening, Melanie Newman and Jim Callis getting to bring you the Orioles and the Yankees' top shining stars, all trying to prove what they can do. Cameron Weston is the next pitcher up here for the Orioles. And Jim, I am going to make you feel better here because you've talked about your scorecard being a mess. I am minus like 2 slots here in pitcher availability in my book, so we'll squeeze Weston in.
But it's good. We get to see a bunch of players play. Even we can't keep up. I hope everybody's enjoying the opportunity to see this many different prospects for the Orioles and Yankees. We have a 1-run game here as we go into the 9th inning.
So he already works ahead here of Edlin Perez,
who made that nice throw from behind the plate.
That was sharp. And again, that's not easy when you come in and you have to be immediately on. It's different, relievers have that mindset of stepping in, but you're that late inning guy position, especially as a catcher. Little soft tap back here, but off the end of the glove, recovers just in time. Weston gets his guy.
Yeah, nice play by Weston. He's more of a pitchability guy than a guy who's going to come up and put up big numbers on the radar gun. 8th round pick out of Michigan in 2022. He'll sit around 91, 92 with the fastball. His best pitch is the slider. He also has a changeup. The slider sits around 80, and he throws strikes and gets out. He's not going to blow you away, but he's just efficient. So you could see some funk in that delivery where it seems like he's falling towards first and he's got the low arm slot, and it's just tough to pick up.
You will appreciate this. This is still Jesus Rodriguez.
Okay.
0-2.
That makes it easy.
So far this evening for Rodriguez, he singled in the first inning. That was when Keeler Morphe was really trying to work through some stuff. He's ground out 3 times since then.
Has 2 RBIs, one of those ground outs produced a run.
Did have a really nice play. You mentioned this earlier.
The best defensive play at third, even though he's not really known for his glove. You could see Weston had him way out in front on that pitch.
Fouls that one off. Looks like it took a little bite of him in the process. And again, a close game for these two all evening long. That should get you excited about what's to come in the future between the Bronx and Baltimore.
Yeah, I've seen plenty to like on both sides.
0-2 from Weston, and he gets him. Big strikeout there. Drops it down to 84. We've talked about some base coaches this evening. I think we recognize this one, though. Nick Swisher has more energy than any human being I've ever met in my life. So naturally, he's going to be the first base coach at the breakout game.
I can't believe we don't have him mic'd up. Like we used to do the Under Armour All-America games on MLB Network. We'd have the managers in both dugouts mic'd up. Having Bill Ripken mic'd up while managing a game was classic. So
does he need a mic?
You can probably hear him from the dugout. Yeah, but it was like try calling a game with both managers are wired up. So
I think we heard him a little bit right there coming in through those crowd mics that we have over there.
He's talking to somebody down there. I don't know if it's in the Orioles dugout. Come on, we have our camera position down there. That's where we did the open. Just get the stick mic. Get him a stick mic out there in the first base box. He's always having fun.
Let's see if we can hear him. With a mound visit.
Do you think as Ohio State product, he's heckling the Michigan pitcher?
I got something in here, Well, I'm proud of you, bro. You hold your own, dude. You're sitting by yourself, but you hold your own,
He's coaching the fans. Oh, what a guy. Don't change, Swish. He's already trying to call a shot here as we've got Vargas in at the plate. Alexander Vargas.
I think you're wrong.
Does he want to be a mascot? I mean, he can do so much.
Hold on, you guys know the oldest stadiums here in Florida?
Fly ball out to right field. We're getting a history lesson on Ed Smith Stadium from Nick Swisher at first base. Oh, man, we're going to the bottom of the ninth here. No fun in baseball.
When choosing the right gear to cut, trim, or mow your yard, Ace has all the power you need to get the job done right. Because gas or battery, your local Ace is the destination with the best power brands all under one roof, like Steel, Ego, Milwaukee, and Toro. And with free assembly and delivery or ready for pickup in 15 minutes. Conquering your outdoor projects has never been easier. Around the block, what you need in stock, with service so good it's guaranteed.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
The 3 for Me, only at Chili's, serves up the big smasher burger. Or you can settle for a drive-thru. Plus, get fries, a drink, and bottomless chips and salsa for just $10.99. See you later, tiny drive-thru burger. This Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game, knock it out the park, knock it out. You know I got the spirit, knock it out the park, knock it out the spirit of the game. The catch is throw, not in
time. Sadly, windshield chips can turn into windshield cracks. But at least you can go to SafeLight.com and schedule a fix in minutes.
Sweet.
SafeLight can come to you for free. Don't wait. Go to SafeLight.com and schedule now.
Here we go, looking at the Yankees' best pitching tools, and we've seen 3 of these guys tonight. They've all been impressive. We saw Ranger's fastball. We saw Hess's curveball. Cunningham, very efficient last inning. He's got the best changeup in the system. Also hit 97 miles an hour with his fastball when he struck out Jonathan Lorenzo, and was just very, very efficient in that inning. 7-pitch, 8th inning. He'll try to close this out for the Yankees. And he's probably closing out either way, right, Melanie? Because no extra innings in spring breakout games.
This is it. So if the Orioles tie it up, that's where it will stay. You were wondering where DJ Layton would be, and he gets to lead off the 9th now as he fouls that one back and evens the count.
I had DJ Layton. This is the 3rd spot in the batting order. I've written him in. One of those was my fault for assuming it was straight up. One of them I will blame game day for having him in the wrong spot. But now we have him in the right spot. He's getting his first at bat.
Listen, whose line is it anyway? We're just going to roll with the numbers here.
We see the changeup here. He just threw 97-mile-an-hour fastball. He's ahead and count 1-2. His changeup just moves so much. It's hard for guys to lay off. It fades and sinks, and it's hard in the upper 80s.
We're back up off the mound, past the diving infield. Layton finally gets his due, a leadoff single in the 9th.
Well, good thing he wasn't looking changeup like I was there, because that was 98, and he stayed on it.
Lombard gave it everything he had. He's grabbing his knee there a little bit, back of the leg.
DJ Layton has plus speed. They're down by 1. You could try to steal here. We already seen Edgeline Prezzo make that good throw, too, though. So he's already thrown out 1 runner stealing. We'll see if they test him again.
Steven Martinez here. And first pitch strike from Cunningham, 0-1. Martinez, the righty outfielder. You see there, the 13th overall prospect. Shallow into right. Martin charging in. 3 Yankees again going out. And an amazing play here. Can you believe it?
Alexander Vargas, he's normally a shortstop. Great play there. Covered a ton of ground. Thought that might be trouble. Would have landed foul if he hadn't come up with the catch, but 3 outs away from victory, you want to get him where you can. He actually made that look pretty casual, and he had the presence of mind in case the runner was going to try to tag. Immediately got the ball in.
So he retires Martinez, and this is Austin Overn again. Some nice little web gems this evening.
Yeah, they made some nice plays. Judd Fabian in right, Jesus Rodriguez at 3rd, Alexander Vargas at 2nd.
2 inside there to Overn. Yankees trying to seal a win here. Spencer Jones eyeing a steak dinner. Enrique Bradfield trying to coach his base runners now.
What happens if they tie? Do they just go to dinner and they split?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if the Yankees win this game, Spencer Jones needs to bring Bryce Cunningham along for closing it out. Like Enrique shouldn't have to pay for that because the bet was with Spencer, but Spencer should bring him along, and Spencer should pick up Bryce Cunningham's meal.
Strike there as Cunningham works back in against Auvergne. You know what? Why don't you just load up the 2 buses, send all of them.
I'll take everybody out to dinner after the game.
Line drive out to right field. It's down and it's fair. Heads goes flying for Austin Auvergne. Helmet is gone for DJ Layton. He's around third and home with these. The throw is cut off. An RBI triple. Austin Auvergne ties it up in the 9th.
Look at, and you could, I mean, it's an exhibition game, but look how excited the Orioles are. They want to win this.
Auvergne ripped the helmet off as he ran towards first base. Layton didn't have a choice. So get that gun.
It makes you run faster. Well, and he's a 70. He can really fly. He was a wide receiver at USC before he decided to focus on baseball. But yeah, you got to get rid of the helmet and run a little bit quicker. Now, we've been talking about Enrique Bradfield and his 80 speed and some of these other guys. We've got Austin Auvergne graded as a 75 runner. So like ground ball, sack fly, wild pitch. Like he's the guy you want on third base right here.
This is what we said. Bradfield's over there coaching.
Bradfield's excited now.
Your speed.
Bradfield's starting to think like where he might want to go for dinner now. Now he's off the hook. We're not going extras. Enrique's off the hook. Yep.
Breaking it down with Dylan Beavers. I don't know, what are you in the mood for? Getting a little quiet over there for Spencer.
Spencer's like, my steak's gone.
And they are going to get a guy up in the bullpen now. Chris Veach.
Chris Veach.
I mean, look at that.
Got rid of his helmet too, so it could be faster.
No time.
And again, they had the lineup working right because DJ had good speed, prepared to hustle around the bases with the tying run. And it's interesting now, you got Thomas Sosa, who lost the ball in the lights that allowed the Yankees to get back into the game, has a chance to end it here and give the Orioles a win.
Baseball likes to write some really beautiful stories. 1-0 to Sosa. Swung on and missed, ball and a strike. You love to hear the crowd getting into it. Go-ahead run is 90 feet from home. Strike 2 from Cunningham. He's got his infield in. Layton is home. Auvergne is waiting. Smacked but foul out to left.
And you can see how shallow the outfielders are playing because Auvergne is so fast. Anything hit over their head, doesn't matter if they catch it, he's going to score anyway. They got to play to try to cut off the hit. And again, with the infield too, you can't do anything but play in and even then, if it's not hit right at a guy, he's going to score. So a lot of pressure on the defense here. A lot of pressure on Perez behind the plate. He can't let anything get away from him, or the game's probably over.
2-2 for Sosa. Looper out into the infield. Back as Lombard calls off his defense, and that is about as good as it can get for the Yankees right there. Everybody stays put, and a big second out.
It shows you how shallow they were playing. Cole Gabrielson, the left fielder, could have probably caught that ball on the dirt of the infield. That's how shallow they were playing.
So listen, I've already called you guys off once. I'm right here again.
Yes. He'll let George take that one.
2 outs for Leandro Arias. An inside strike. We get another look at this play again, though, on top of it. unwilling to let go of each other. Tied again here at 4. 7 hits for both of these teams. Arias' first at-bat back in the 7th, and he singled. 0-2, back up off the glove of Cunningham, past Lombard, and Arias gets a win for the Orioles. No ties to settle this one. A Gatorade bath at first base, and Baltimore walks it off 5-4.
That's a pretty cool memory for Leandro Arias, 20 years old. I think that was the changeup. I think that was Cunningham's plus changeup, and he just stayed on it and hit it back up the middle.
So many amazing opportunities tonight. You've said it. We've seen those polished prospects. We've seen young kids.
Lombard just couldn't quite get to that ball.
And what a juxtaposition between these two. Right time, right place, right pitch for Arias. All smiles. Stand out for you tonight, Jim.
We saw so many cool memories. I think that the best play was probably Vance Honeycutt's inside the park home run. That's going to maybe be the most exciting play of all spring breakout. But we had it all tonight. We saw guys throwing 101 miles an hour. Carlos LaGrange. We saw Enrique Bradfield's 80 speed. We saw guys like Judge Fabian, Jesus Rodriguez making great defensive plays. And then you see Leandro Arias coming through with a game-winning hit. So the Spencer Jones was probably tasting that steak in the 9th inning. And now he's got to take Enrique Bradfield to dinner.
Yeah, well, get out the wallet, Spencer. Enrique, we hope you're hungry. Dinner in the books between these two Commodores. Jim, thank you again. This is such a pleasure to break down these guys with you. I absolutely love it. But Orioles take it, a walk-off 9th inning win, 5-4 this evening over the Yankees. This has been day 3 of the 2025 spring breakout games. And just what a great chance to see all of this. Again, Melanie Newman, Jim Callis on behalf of our entire amazing MLB Network crew bringing you this one. We've got plenty of more action as spring training rolls on here, so keep it locked all spring long and into the season. Until next time, everybody.
Hey, welcome everybody to a spring training game, a spring breakout game that's coming up in a couple of minutes. This is what's left as far as the breakout schedule is concerned. Coming up in a few, like I said, Angels and Cubs. You'll have that here. And then tomorrow, the final day, you're going to have Detroit and Atlanta, and you're going to have the Reds, and you're going to have Milwaukee. Those are your 3 games remaining in the spring breakout. That was a great game. Highly entertaining with some big-time prospects who are so young. Some of them may not even be able to drive yet, and may be able to drive, but possibly are not driving. Let's do an update for you right now. Get you up to speed on what's going on with the Angels, or rather the Rangers and the Giants.
And it skips by Diaz. Davidson's got to go play it. Ozuna's scored. Here comes Walcott around third, and he'll beat the relay. 2 runs come across for the Rangers. Dreiling ends up at second. It's 2-0 Texas.
Terrific piece of hitting by Dreiling. And soon enough.
Yeah, you got to be in the box, engaged. And he wasn't. Lisbel Diaz loops one into shallow center. Coming on is Gutierrez. And a headlong dive to make a spectacular catch. Anthony Gutierrez as the